tomorrow into tomorrow night can produce flooding downpours, hail, and damaging winds. For Friday, clouds, some sun, and quite humid with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm around, high 87. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now it is sunny and 80 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
Chris Raunchy, Amy Mark Scores, The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
This is the end. Hold your breath and count to 10.
Oh man, I think we're getting a little ahead of ourselves here.
I need someone like Mary Lynn to talk me off the edge. Guys,
Oh, stop it.
93 games is looking tough.
Oh, 93 games is not. 93 wins.
93 wins is looking
Not
tough.
looking good for the Cardinals, but we need to chill out just a minute.
I'm freaking out, Jerry.
Chris and Amy on KMOX. Join the show by calling and texting, and we need you today. 314-436-7900. You can leave us voice messages on the Odyssey app, where you can listen to the show live. Obviously, you should be listening to the show live, or go back and get the podcasts later. Any of the segments that you missed, all there for you to download and stream. You can also watch us on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter at Chris Amy KMOX.
Time now for the top of the order. The top three stories everyone will be talking about.
Well, the president says the ceasefire with Iran is over now, which doesn't sound good. Good thing we've got Scott McFarlane on the show. He will join us at 10:45 today.
And the U.S. men's national team loss has Americans talking about soccer development in the United States and why youth soccer is so expensive.
Yep, we will get into that, of course. And the Cardinals lost a doubleheader yesterday. They've dropped all three games to the Brewers so far with 2 games left to go. It was a bad day yesterday. And this was after they really had an opportunity in game 1 to win that one. They let that one get away. And we kind of weren't paying attention while that game was going. I mean, we were, but you had the U.S. men's team losing at the exact same time. And the Cardinals were coughing up that game. And now here we are. And some people in this room have just decided, well, that's it. It's all over now.
I need a little encouragement, guys. Listen, I was high on the card supply at the beginning of the year. 93 wins is what I was calling.
You're just throwing stuff against the wall.
No, I was not.
Yes, you were.
It was directly related to the temperature at first pitch.
You don't even have a thermometer. Oh, that kind of temperature. Okay. It was.
And I said 93 wins. And listen, here's what happened. I was out of town for 10 days, and the Cards were doing okay, but then they started sputtering. And then the last handful of games against the Brewers have really knocked me down. And like I said, I need some hope. I need Cardinals fans to text in at 314-436-7900 and say, Amy, pull yourself together. It's going to be fine.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be fine, but I think it will be. The Brewers are just a better team than the Cardinals are. But
I don't like them. I don't like their logo.
What's wrong with their logo?
It's just, it doesn't do it for me. Feels
Do you know
busy.
what? Here's how the Brewers feel to me. It's the way the big market teams used to look at the Cardinals. Like, how is this team from St. Louis always winning? That's how I feel about the Brewers.
That's fair.
That's how I feel about them. So the Brewers are the new Cardinals. And they've been that way. Well, they have, except they haven't won a World Series.
Didn't they kind of steal a little bit of the Cardinals' way? The Brewers, I think, patterned themselves after the Cardinals a bit, back when the Cardinals were. Because year after year, like you said, everybody would look at the Cardinals and say, who's this guy? Nobody even heard of this guy, and now he's playing great in their lineup.
Cardinals are doing it, the Brewers are doing it with they've got outstanding pitching. They always do. Year in, year out. They're always finding guys who can get outs. So that's what's going on with the Milwaukee Brewers. And it is frustrating. So we know that team is the best. The problem for the Cardinals, and I still maintain that we are going to be talking about, they're going to be in the playoff conversation in September. I still think that. I don't know that they're going to go to the playoffs. We're talking about the Cardinals here. I don't know that they're going to go, but I think they might still find themselves, if not in the picture, just outside.
Okay, well,
So the problem that they've got now, though, is that all these other teams are starting to play well. And again, there are many, many weeks left in the regular season, something like 12 weeks left. So there's a lot of baseball left to play. We're barely halfway through. Haven't even gotten to the All-Star break yet. So this could change, but the Cubs are playing really well now. The Phillies are playing well now. The Marlins have bypassed them in the standings. The Cardinals are now 2 games behind Miami for that final wild card spot. Here's where I feel a little bit of comfort. I don't think Miami is that good. I think that if there's an opportunity here, it's still to beat them, and that might be all they need, because I'm not worried about Pittsburgh, even though they're only a game behind us. I'm definitely not worried about Washington or Arizona. I don't know what's going on with the Padres. But it's really, I think if they can stay in front of the Marlins, stay in front of San Diego, I think they have a really good chance.
But here's my question, though. They're in this skid. You're talking about them staying in front of the Marlins, for instance. But that's assuming we're looking at the same team in several weeks as we're looking at right now. But if the Cardinals are still in a bit of a skid, does it make the franchise more willing to give up talent?
Oh, sure, of course.
At the trade deadline, at which point now you're looking at a very, very different team post-trade deadline if you're giving away some of your more consistent, experienced players.
But let's just say this. The Cardinals are... The skid has been the last 4 games. They've lost the last 4. They lost the final in Chicago. They've lost these 3 to Milwaukee. 2 of them they probably could have had. 1 of them for sure they should have won. And in this tough stretch of baseball, we talked about this yesterday with Ackerman on our 5-minute Gas House gang before the first of the doubleheader. This tough stretch of games against the Braves, the Cubs, Milwaukee, and then the Braves again right before the All-Star break, they've been doing pretty well. They were 4-2 until, now you got this Milwaukee series, which isn't going your way, and now they are 4-5 during this stretch. I think if they can stay around 500 in these tough games, if they get through this series with the Braves coming up here, and they've been 500 over this last couple of weeks, I'll feel pretty good about that. I think they should have been over 500, but, I wouldn't say I'm worried, but I would say that this team has the same issues now that we thought they would have at the beginning of the season, and that is their pitching isn't strong enough. I think it can get them through to the end of the regular season, but that's probably where it stops.
Now, remember how at the beginning of the show I said I needed our texter, someone like Mary Lynn, to text in and tell me it's going to be okay. Guess who texted in? Mary Lynn. She said, we can cheer when the Brewers slump. She said, every team slumps. We can cheer when the Brewers slump. It's going to be okay. They will be fun to watch. Mary Lynn,
see,
every team slumps. So the Cardinals are in a slump, and when the Brewers slump, we can cheer them on. Thank you, Mary Lynn.
Well, there you go. Do you feel better now?
314-436-7900. I do. Okay, speaking of feeling better, and I know this is, I hate to bring this up at the beginning of the show, but Harambe was on one yesterday. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, our listener,
He texted in, and we acknowledged him, and he missed it. So then he got all, sensitive.
He kept texting.
And kept texting and said, I will not be ignored.
I mean.
He wasn't ignored.
What is the matter with you, man?
Harambe.
Just calm down.
Calm down. We acknowledged you. And speaking of the ballpark, you sent us a Quick Trip hot dog promotion.
I did. Okay, so thanks to Brendan Schaefer, who sometimes fills in with us on Gas House Gang, and he's great. But I didn't see it on the broadcast. If I missed it and they showed it, I didn't see it. But he, in between innings, Quick Trip has an incredible promotion where I don't know how it starts, but they throw a giant inflatable hot dog and then a giant inflatable bun into the stands and like
Far
opposite,
apart, yeah.
far apart, and then people like move the balloon. Like the inflatable's
How
closer
big
together.
do you think it? 10 feet long? I mean, it's pretty
huge.
big.
It was like 15 feet long.
Yeah, the bun and the
And
hot
then they have
dog.
to put the hot dog in the bun, and when they do, everybody celebrates. What a great promotion.
It's like this.
That's so fun.
Well, there's like they're like, here's the wiener.
Yes.
It's going around the ballpark.
It's kind of it was like envision two really giant beach balls. Okay, you know
Yeah.
how like sometimes people will get beach balls and bat them around, but the goal is to get the hot dog into the bun, and people are moving the hot dog closer to the bun.
It's
and
incredible.
It's so great.
And the thing is,
What an idea!
as far as we know, this is new, right? We haven't seen this. Matt agrees it's new.
Yeah, it must be new because I've been to ball games. I have not noticed that.
Now,
I feel like I would.
I have said this before that Quick Trip is an American treasure. It truly is. But whatever marketing guy thought of this, give that person a raise. Marketing guy, gal, whatever. Give that
Great
person
stuff.
a raise because that is. And the thing is, did they think of it a couple weeks ago? Because it's a mid-season launch, right? So if it's a mid-season launch, were they holding on to it for half the season, or did they come up with it recently? Because I believe even our friend Megan Eberhardt at the Cardinals, who talks about the different promotions and themes, certain things have to be planned in advance, but you have a little bit of flexibility and adaptability if something were to happen, kind of like the tarps off.
Yeah.
They were able to adapt mid-season. This hot dog,
It's really great stuff.
It's great.
Well done, whoever came up with that.
Yeah,
The ad wizard who came up with this one. Good job. I'm so impressed.
that is really, really good.
It was one of the best. So very well done by you, Quick Trip, and whoever came up with that idea.
Also,
Yes.
I think it's worth noting
Yes.
that our illustrious health editor stopped by the office yesterday
Okay.
because he really appreciated your fatty story from the cafe.
I can't believe that woman did that to me. These young women, man.
Can you just a recap for those who missed it?
So I went to this nice place in Clayton. Thought I had a day off.
Yeah.
It was on Monday.
Oh.
But I'm going to go out and about and see
treat yourself.
see what the town's all about.
Yeah.
And so I went to this place and I got some coffee and then I ordered. It was basically I feel like if I tell you what it is, you might think of the name. It was basically a toast. It was a toast and it had like a spread on it and then salmon, kind of like a lox and bagel sort of thing.
Sure.
But it was on toast. And she brought it out to me. And it was like a normal size, I guess. Like it was kind of what I expected.
Yeah.
And then she puts it down and I start to eat it. And then she comes back, or maybe it was a different person came back and said, hey, normally those are a lot bigger. And so I've gone ahead and we're giving you another half because that's a little smaller portion than we're used to. And I was like, oh, okay. And then she said, if you were a 20-year-old girl, I might have just let it go. But I thought, get that man his breakfast. I was like, what are you calling me? She looked at me and she's like, oh, that fatty's not going to be happy with that little tiny toast I gave him with the little fish on it. I better get him before he complains and starts knocking tables over this moose.
Oh, give me my
I want my breakfast.
It's like this guy's obviously used to eating more.
It's like, that's horrible. What? I was like, wow, that was really nice of her. Wait a minute.
Well, the health editor, Fred Bottomer, appreciated it.
And then he poked me in the belly.
Big boy.
We are going to talk to Jake Zimmerman, who is the St. Louis County Assessor and running for County Executive. We talked to Dennis Hancock yesterday, talked to Brian Williams last week. We'll talk to Jake Zimmerman at 9:30 today. John Rooney on the show in the 10 o'clock hour. Scott McFarland, 10:45. A lot happening today on the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
Listen up. If you have not paid self-employment, business, or individual taxes in years, the IRS will find you. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. I offer real solutions. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Story, today and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. At the Lance Story Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120 or visit LanceDruryLaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey there, it's Jill Schlesinger. I'm launching a new show. It's called Money Moves, and your money is going to move. We're going to help you make better financial decisions. We're going to call out the BS you're finding all over social media. We're going to give you actionable guidance to make your financial life clearer, less stressful. We're going to answer your financial questions and take the mystery out of your financial life. Follow and listen to Money Moves with Jill Schlesinger wherever you get your podcasts.
Pros, save more on what you need to get the job done right. Right now at Lowe's. Get 15% off select custom entry and interior doors. Plus, save $80 on the DeWalt 20-volt Max 2-tool combo kit. Now just $169. And at the Lowe's Pro Desk, bring us your materials list and get a quote in minutes. Handwritten, a photo, or even a sticky note is all you need. Keep your jobs moving faster and on budget at Lowe's. Valid through 7/8 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Party at your place this summer? Fix things up inside and out with July 4th deals, now at Lowe's. Get up to 45% off select major appliances and save up to an additional 25% off when you bundle select major appliances. Plus, save $80 on the select Charbroil Performance Series gas grill, now $299. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 7/8 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Too many tools, too much stress, and way too many bills.
Odoo replaces it all. One connected platform for every part of your business, so you can work faster, smarter, and for less. Odoo, the only software you'll ever need. Try it free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
Built on a century. Focused on today. The voice of St. Louis. KMOX.
Chris Ranji, Amy Mark scores with you. Harambe checks in to say that he was being sarcastic yesterday.
All right, we'll just stop being a big baby.
I don't think I believe him.
I don't think I do either. Amy, I got huge news for you, and I need to know what your Hallmark Channel knowledge is.
All right, here's my disclaimer. I feel like I know a lot about Hallmark. However, in the past couple of years, I've really focused heavily on Hallmark movies and mysteries, which obviously is a limited set of actors.
Okay. Well, so the Bears Holiday Touchdown movie is coming out.
That's
so remember
right,
how
baby.
Holiday Touchdown with the Kansas City Chiefs, and it was kind of reminiscent of the Taylor Travis thing.
Kind of. I think it was,
That was
pretty much a copy.
inspired, right? And then
Yeah.
they did one with the Buffalo Bills last year.
Yeah.
Well, the new
I didn't
holiday
see that one.
The new Holiday Touchdown movie is featuring the Bears.
Okay.
And so they have decided who the lead actors are going to be.
Okay.
I need to know if you know these people.
Okay. You want to give me, see if I can guess if
Okay.
you give me their initials?
The dude's name is, his initials are RB. and
Ryan?
No. And the lady is LF. Do you know who these people
I
are?
don't know. You have to tell me their names.
Robert Buckley and Lindsay Fonseca. Are you familiar with either one?
I don't think so. Hold on. Robert Buckley. I
They're-
don't think so. Nope.
Okay. Well, they are two young, attractive chaps, and they're going to be. Well, she's 39. So
yeah, I don't know that. Maybe I've seen one movie with Lindsay Fonseca. They are not the go-tos.
So I told you I wanted to go up because they were looking for extras.
Yeah.
And there's a whole thing you have to have. Like, you have to have some kind of page. I don't know, like an actor. Like, we're in SAG-AFTRA. We're in the union.
Sure.
But you have to have some kind of separate whole profile, which I don't have. And I would have had to take off several days of work.
It would have been worth it.
It would have been
If
worth
you
it
were
to be in Holiday
committed,
Touchdown.
Oh my gosh. And you know what else? You know why they would have picked you? Because you would have been the Easter egg in the movie. Because
Well, yeah.
Chicago people would go, hey, is that White Sox
Some
guy?
people would say that.
Yes, you would have been the Easter egg. You could have said, listen, I'm kind of a big deal in Chicago. I have quite a following, and I would be an Easter egg, and people in Chicago would say, oh my gosh, Hallmark has blown it out of the park
Well,
with this by throwing in this very niche Easter egg in Christopher Ranji.
how about that?
I'm so upset with you now. You could, honestly, you
I
could
only
have
have-
made this
I-
movie very special. And you would have been an awful announcing. They would have been like,
Yeah.
Hallmark
Is it a?
casts Easter egg.
Let me ask you this question: Is it
Okay.
a personal day? Do I get personal days, or is it vacation I have to use? For
So
something
here's
like
what I would
that?
do. I would count it as vacation. If you don't get the part, switch it to bereavement. Because obviously part of you has died.
That's right. There, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Steve, I need a bereavement leave.
I didn't
Like,
get
what do
this part.
What happened?
Yeah. I think that would have been really, really fun. Maybe you could pitch a White Sox movie, which could actually be really cool because then the couple could get, like, does the Pope do married weddings?
Here's
you know
the
what I
pro-
mean? Like they could get
Right.
married.
The problem with that is
Yeah.
people don't care about them.
Well,
Not enough people
do
care.
people care about the Bears?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
They got a big following. So it's a little bit different. But anyway, I'm not going to appear in Holiday Touchdown, but I'm looking forward to see. I will watch this one.
When would you have had to take off?
2 weeks ago? Or was it last week? I can't remember. Or maybe it's coming up here. I'm not sure. No, I think it was the end of June.
Find the dates. Make it real.
It's too
Here's
late.
the thing. What if
there was a costume fitting or something I would have had to go to on a Monday.
Here's what I'm going to do. I think we should write a letter. Tell them who you are.
And they'll say, and
be like, this could be a really great move for you guys.
it could be great for everybody.
No, but I don't recognize those people. I like Andrew Walker. People know Andrew Walker
I don't know
and
who
Nikki
that is.
DeLoach.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
No.
You know that one of the most famous Hallmark actors was Sam Page. And during
County executive.
Yeah.
Yes. Coming
but
up next.
He is a Canadian actor because they're all Canadian. He had to address it. He goes, I've never heard of St. Louis. I don't know what St. Louis is, but I'm not the county executive because it was during COVID and Sam Page was getting lit up for the COVID rules.
closures?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and for closures and masking rules. And Sam Page, the Canadian actor, had to address it and say, I don't know who this guy is. I don't know where St. Louis is, but I'm not the county executive. I'm not making COVID rules. Stop tweeting at me.
Poor
That's
guy.
pretty hilarious.
It's very good. I only know Danica McKellar.
Yeah, because she was Winnie.
Yeah, Winnie. That's right.
She's a big time. Well, you know Candace Cameron Bure. She was DJ
Yeah, she was
Tanner
on
on
there.
Full House.
Jake Zimmerman is running for St. Louis County Executive. Speaking of that position, he is currently the county assessor, and he will join the show when we come back on 104.1 FM KMOX.
When Cardinals fans want to talk baseball, they turn to the Gas House Gang. Tom Ackerman, Chris Ranchi, Mike Claiborne, and Bernie Miklasz bring insights, analysis, and opinions that fuel the conversation. And every Tuesday, Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol pulls back the curtain on his decisions and his team's performance. The Gas House Gang is the sports show sports fans can't miss. Hear it weekdays at noon on your home for the Cardinals. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
So much to love about summer, longer days, backyard barbecues, but if you've noticed your air conditioning running constantly or certain rooms just never seem to cool down, could be your windows. Right now with Universal Windows Direct, you buy 4 windows, you're going to get 4 windows for free. You're also going to get 48 months of 0% interest financing, same as cash, 4 full years to pay off those windows. 314-334-2522 or universalwindowsdirect.com.
For the last 33 years, you've discovered that at Banner Construction, we pride ourselves on quality craftsmanship. We believe the single most important decision homeowners must make when considering an exterior restoration project is, who do you hire? At Banner, we provide well-engineered, meaningful, long-term solutions to transform your home into the pride of the neighborhood. Let us help you fall in love with your home all over again. Call 314-569-1050 or visit bannerconstruction.com and have a banner day.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Well, it is gorgeous outside, at least looking out the windows of Studio B. 82 degrees. A bit humid, though. Real feel temperature in the 90s. A high today of 88. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy. A low of 72. Weather sponsored by Ricken Financial.
Income is the outcome that matters the most in retirement. Join us for Kickin' with the Rickens, Redefining Retirement with Jerry Ricken and Heidi Ricken Provost every Saturday at 3 p.m. right here on KMOX, and get more at rickenfinancial.com.
They say good things come to those who wait, unless you bite into a Hot Pocket right out of the microwave. Waiting to see a financial advisor about retirement could also bring some pain. The pain of watching your money evaporate in a stock market decline. The pain of trying to figure out Social Security and Medicare on your own. Or the pain of writing huge checks to the IRS that you really didn't have to. At the All Financial Group, they believe the more you know, the better decisions they can make. They offer a complimentary retirement assessment. Find out where you are, how you're doing, and if there's a way to improve your retirement outcome. Don't wait. Call the All Financial Group today, 636-230-8824, or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com, and set up your complimentary retirement review.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, ITW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
New Game Plus with Oxy makes your laundry smell incredible and fights stubborn smells, like the ones your dog Biscuit brought into your freshly made bed last night. But you washed that all away with Game, and now you're drifting asleep to the scent and sound of waves. Ah, no, that's the dog licking your ear.
Biscuit.
It just might be our greatest scent ever, now with odor-fighting power. New Game Plus with Oxy.
Party at your place this summer? Fix things up inside and out with July 4th deals, now at Lowe's. Get up to 45% off select major appliances and save up to an additional 25% off when you bundle select major appliances. Plus, save $80 on the select Charbroil Performance Series gas grill, now $299. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 7/8 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Last year, we had 295 trials where we'd been offered a total of $90 million on all those cases. When the dust settled, we had recovered over $1.1 billion in verdicts and mid-trial settlements. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason. We won a lot, $30 billion and counting. The best part of all those wins is that it helps you when you hire us. All those wins allow us to let the insurance company know we mean business. And believe me, they know who we are. If you've been injured, Google Morgan & Morgan results. You're not bragging if it's a fact. 3 million people tried to hire us last year alone. That happened for a reason. Visit forthepeople.com and let's get started this minute. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Today, the Cards, the Brewers.
Ameren Total Access 550. First pitch 645.
Cardinals Radio. 104.1 FM KMOX.
We are not too far away from the primary for St. Louis County Executive. August 4th, in fact, is that date, with a general election coming up in November. And there are 3 Democrats that are running for St. Louis County Executive. We spoke to Brian Williams last week, and today we speak to Jake Zimmerman, who is the St. Louis County Assessor and running for County Executive. He is with us now on KMOX. So is Peter Gabriel. And we've got Amy Marks, Chris Ranji. Good morning, Mr. Zimmerman. How are you?
Good morning, Chris. I'm doing great.
Well, we're happy to have you. And as we ask every candidate, why are you running for executive, as Sam Page will not be running this time?
Because St. Louis County government is a mess. Because you pick up the newspaper, you turn on the radio, and you hear another goofy story about people getting into fistfights in the hallways or screaming at one another. And all of this nonsense means that while the politicians are squabbling, nothing is getting done for you. And, you know, look, I don't run the most glamorous or the most sexy part of St. Louis County government, but I'm pretty darn proud of running a piece of government with fairness and integrity and without all that nonsense and all that drama. And I think we deserve a little bit better.
Yep, and we are speaking with Jake Zimmerman, St. Louis County Assessor. Of course, he is a candidate for St. Louis County Executive. And Jake, you talk about St. Louis County government being a mess. Can you pinpoint 2 or 3 of those messiest points?
Well, look, in some sense, the original sin is when Steve Stenger got dragged out of the place in handcuffs for selling out our government to the highest bidder. And ever since then, it just feels like the whole thing has looked more like, you know, a daytime TV talk show than serious government. And so when you see elected officials getting into fistfights, when you see people picking what appears to be just personal battles, when you see craziness like firing the volunteers at the animal shelter, right? I mean, a government with a budget crisis is going to fire a bunch of volunteers. Make that make sense for me. And while all this is happening, Amy, you've got an $80+ million budget hole. Like, that's real money. That's your money at stake here. And I just find it immensely maddening that all the politicians seem more interested in scoring points than actually fixing our problems.
You've mentioned fistfights a couple of times here. We know that there have been tense meetings before. What in particular are you referring to with the fistfights?
Oh, man, if you haven't watched the video from the town hall meeting with Councilwoman Webb and folks who oppose her, boy, you really want to go dig up that video and watch it. But look, here's the thing. All this stuff seems like it's entertaining and it makes for good radio fodder. But I would gently suggest that if that's what you're looking for, you know, sign up for a pay-per-view package and go watch some UFC. I don't think that this kind of Keystone Cop shenanigans is what people are looking for out of their elected officials. St. Louis County has real work to do, and this is not glamorous stuff. We're talking about making sure your roads are paved. We're talking about making sure your parks are maintained. And all that increasingly is at risk because of the nonsense. And I just think it's high time we got back to basics and got the work done.
Yeah, I will say, like in Real Housewives style, the real council members of St. Louis County feels like a reality show. But there are Republicans on the council, there are Democrats on the council, and then there's Sam Page. and nobody can get along. And it is unique if Sam Page, who is a Democrat, cannot even get along with the Democrats on the council. My question to you is, do you feel like you have relationships with the council members, if you were to be county executive, that you could get things done and perhaps repair some of the infighting?
Well, God knows we got nowhere to go but up, right? And maybe we need the Canadian actor. Maybe we need Sam Page from Canada to come down and do a body double. Although the trouble with that is that there's another Jake Zimmerman in Missouri, too. He's a criminal defense lawyer down in Cape Girardeau. And every now and again, I get handwritten letters from prisoners pleading with Jake Zimmerman to help them out of their mess. And, so I know what it's like when they find the wrong guy with the same name. But real talk, Amy, you're exactly right. When you have elected officials of the same party picking these kinds of fights, that is your number one clue that this isn't about ideology. This is not people disagreeing about taxes or abortion or Medicaid or anything else. This is people who just personally dislike each other. And the thing that I think we've had enough of is fighting about who started it. Like, I don't care if you love Sam Page, if you hate Sam Page, if you wouldn't piss on Sam Page if he was on fire in front of you. In a few months, he's going to be gone. He's going to be hanging out back at the hospital or on the farm in southern Missouri. And the rest of us are going to have real problems to solve. So it's time we get past all of that. And to answer your original question, what does it take to do it? What it takes is remembering that God gave you 2 ears and only 1 mouth for a reason. Every single person on that council, whether they are a Republican or a Democrat, is there because they were elected by the people and they're trying to solve problems for the people. And a little bit of humility, a little bit of listening to everybody, and a little bit less of this my way or the highway nonsense, I think we could all do with some of that.
County Assessor Jake Zimmerman is with us on KMOX running for county executive. The primary is in early August. And we've heard from the council and from Sam Page primarily talking about the budget shortfall, that there is a gap here that needs to be figured out. What would you do to help fix that gap?
Look, it ain't rocket science. If you run a business or you run a household, you know that if less money is coming in the door than going out the door, you have a problem. And the county has had that problem for years because the politicians from both parties keep relying on one-time funds to close the gap. They did it with infrastructure money from Joe Biden. They did it with aid to the states and localities under Obama. They did it with Proposition P money that was meant for the police. And now you have the same people talking about blowing money from the Rams settlement on filling the holes. If you do that, Chris, what you're doing is you're burning the furniture just to keep warm for a year. And soon enough, all that Rams money will be gone and you still won't have solved your problems. So, when the people put me in charge of the assessor's office some years ago, we inherited a budget that was in the red, an office that was spending more than it was taking in. And we made the tough choices. You've got wants and you've got needs, and you've got to distinguish between the two. And yes, sometimes that means leaving jobs unfilled. Sometimes that means that you can't do all the stuff you want to get done this year. But running a government is no different than the kind of basic budget and household decisions that all of us make day in and day out. And you should expect your elected officials to be willing to confront those choices head on.
We spoke with Dennis Hancock, the Republican candidate for county executive, yesterday, and we asked him about the budget, and he did say something similar about using one-time money to fill the gap with programs that are ongoing. Of course, that doesn't work, and he said there would be certain programs that are good, but maybe serve a smaller group of people, and you got to work on the basics first before you can go to programs that are wants rather than needs. Would you make cuts? It sounds like you would have to make some cuts, and what would those cuts be?
Well, look, I strongly suspect that Dennis and I would not agree on the details of what counts as basic and what counts as important, right? I think that government has certain fundamental responsibilities to serve this community, and protecting that stuff really, really matters. Whether you're talking about the county parks or making sure our potholes get filled or making sure that our streets are safe, the county has basic responsibilities, and it is very important that we tend to those first. As to where you go to not waste money, I'll name you just one example that would be a good place to start. It wasn't that long ago, back in December, that we had senior citizens waiting in 2-hour lines outside in the cold just to pay their taxes. And that was outrageous, and it was a customer service failure. But one of the reasons it happened was because the Department of Revenue foolishly implemented a new computer system that didn't work. They spent millions of dollars to give you worse public service and lead to a world where the checks don't even get deposited. I mean, if you think about that, it's mind-blowing. Fixing that kind of baseline incompetence has to be job one. Not only because it helps balance the budget, but also because the citizens that we serve expect their government to work. And right now, too often, it just doesn't.
Can it be solved with cuts alone, or will there need to be additional revenue generated?
Look, that's ultimately a question for the county council and for the people of St. Louis County. At the end of the day, that's a choice you present. You can do as much as you can with what you have. If you want more, you have to spend more for it. And if you want to spend less, then you have to get less. Those choices are the same choices that you make if you're running a barber shop or a radio station. And it's about time that St. Louis County elected officials leveled with the people about that, rather than shove it under the rug and pretend that the problem doesn't exist.
Do you see something in the county that is working well right now?
Well, look, I'm pretty darn proud of the assessor's office. We're not glamorous and we're not sexy. But when you see these headlines about people not answering the phones, taxpayers being mistreated, all that kind of stupid government tricks, you don't see those kinds of stories about us. And I'm awfully proud of that. I mean, look, we're not the most popular part of St. Louis County. Nobody loves the guy who tells you that your house is going up in value and that your tax bill might get higher. But the people didn't elect me to this job in order to make somebody happy. They didn't elect me to this job to get more money for the school district or the fire department. And they didn't elect me to this job to hand out tax breaks to casinos or big corporate lawyers or anybody else. They elected me to tell the truth, and they elected me to do the work, be an umpire who calls the strikes and balls, let the chips fall where they may. I'm really proud of that record. And there's lots of other places in county government that are run with similar kinds of professionalism. And the real way you know the places that work okay is they're the ones you don't read about in the newspaper. When you read about those failings at the Department of Revenue and people waiting in the 2-hour lines and folks not answering the phones, right? You never see those kinds of headlines about, just to pick one silly example, Spirit of St. Louis Airport. Did you even know that St. Louis County government runs Spirit of St. Louis Airport? You probably didn't. And the reason you probably didn't is it isn't in the headlines every week because it seems to be running okay. So yeah, maybe there are some lessons learned from the other places in this big enterprise with thousands and thousands of employees. And let's find the places where it's working right, and let's address the places where it's not working so hot.
We know the relationship between the county and the city and the region, this immediate region here in St. Louis. The relationship's very important. We've asked the other candidates about a merger down the road, which has been something proposed, and even Sam Page had brought that up again a couple of months ago. Should there be a county and city merger?
Well, my litmus test for regionalism proposals, and let's be clear that this is the same test whether you're talking about cooperating with our friends in St. Charles County on the other side of the Missouri River, or the folks in the city or Southern Illinois or wherever else it may be, is pretty simple, which is, what does it do for our parks and what does it do for our potholes? So if you show me a regional cooperation proposal that's a good deal for the people of St. Louis County, I'll be the first guy out there collecting signatures for it. And I'm open to any proposal that results in us getting more and spending less. But I want to be very careful here, and I want to flag that what I'm not interested in is anything like the so-called Better Together conversation that we had some years ago. That failed for a good reason. And it wasn't just that they wanted to make Steve Stenger the grand poobah of everything and he turned out to be a criminal, right? It failed because it was an attempt to do something from the top down to say, this is what a merger will look like. Take your medicine. We're going to shove it down your throats. This is good for you. That's not the way you do political reform. Political reform requires buy-in, and it requires something that the people of St. Louis County and any other part of the region that's involved, the city or St. Charles or anywhere else, they've got to have a vote, they got to have a voice, and they got to have a stake in it. And if you're proud of the product you're selling, and the product you're selling is one that's a good deal, then you won't have too much trouble persuading the people. So to me, that's the sort of the ironclad first question.
Primary election is August 4th. The general is in November. Jake Zimmerman is running for St. Louis County Executive, currently the county assessor. Jake Zimmerman, we appreciate your time today. Thanks for talking with us.
Thanks so much, Chris. I appreciate it.
It is the Chris and Amy Show. Again, August 4th is the primary. There are 3 Democrats who are running for that position. We did talk to Brian Williams last week, and the forum here is open for anybody who wants to talk with us as we get closer to that primary. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
You know, most sellers put their home on the market and they just wait to see what happens. Well, I'm Kevin Wheeler, and I'm here with Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And Gloria, is there a better way to sell?
There is. Instead of listing your home the traditional way and hoping for the right buyer, I can get you up to 8 competitive cash offers right from the start. That means you're not guessing what your home might sell for. You're looking at the real offers and choosing the one that works the best for you. It also helps you to set the right price and create stronger demand if you decide to go to market. It gives you control, leverage, and a clear path forward before you accept just any offer. And remember, I'll guarantee to sell your home at 100% of the market value, or I'll pay you the difference.
Before you sell your home, see what your options are. Call the one that I trust. That's Gloria Liu, 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession.
Get ready for a night back with legendary hits and non-stop energy. Bryan Adams is bringing the Roll with a Bunches tour to Enterprise Center Friday, July 24th.
Hello, this is Bryan Adams.
Sing along to the classics as Bryan Adams delivers an unforgettable night of rock anthems. Plus, special guests Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo. Bryan Adams, July 24th. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you are looking for a place for independent living for older adults, the place is Fairwinds River's Edge in St. Charles. It was voted U.S. News and World Report's best independent living for 5 consecutive years. They have social events for the residents there, wellness programs. Just go to fairwindsriversedge.com. Schedule a tour and hear about all of the great new updated spaces, all the dining, the social events, the best. fairwindsriversedge.com.
Let's take a break. Good idea. Hey, Tom, what are you doing on that Amendment 4?
You know we fought for our freedom and rights. I'm not giving them away without a fight.
Ford takes them?
That's exactly what Ford does. For over 100 years, Missouri voters have used our constitutional power to act when the politicians refused. I'll be darned if I'm voting to pass on less freedom and power to my kids.
And doesn't Ford kill majority rule?
Yep, creates minority rule, where just 5% of statewide voters in one district can block any citizen-led reform, making it nearly impossible to pass citizen-led ballot measures.
That's just dumb.
And when the politicians refuse to act, we've used citizen-led ballot measures to pass some big stuff, like lobbyist reforms, term limits for career politicians, and outlawing tax hikes without voter approval.
I'm not surrendering my power and rights to a bunch of politicians and lobbyists. I've no on Amendment 4.
Hard no on 4.
Petty 4 buttons are inch per care governance.
You know, here in St. Louis, word of mouth still matters, and I'm pretty careful about who I recommend, especially when it comes to something as personal as estate planning. I'm Tom Ackerman. My family has been working with the Lederman Law Firm for over 20 years now, and the reason is simple. They don't just create documents and send you on your way. They help make sure your plan works. Because let's be honest, life changes. Family needs and circumstances change. Laws change. But most estate plans don't change over time as needs, circumstances, and laws change. They're outdated, sitting in a drawer. People assume they're fine, and their plan will work when they need it to work. At the Lederman Law Firm, it's not a one-time transaction. It's an ongoing process. They build a plan to protect your family and your assets, and then for a fixed annual fee, they help keep it up to date as both your life and assets change. Check out the Lederman Law Firm at LedermanLaw.com or give them a call at 314-514-9100. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX and the free Odyssey app. Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
Okay, this is not a brand new story. I've had it on my list for a couple of weeks now, but Florida officials are looking for answers because a human skull turned up at a thrift store in Florida. It was a real human head found at the Jericho Ministries thrift store in Brooksville, which is 40 miles north of Tampa. The thing is the person dropped it off, said it was a novelty skull. Nope, real human head. And what makes it extra surprising is that this is the second real human head that was dropped off at a thrift store in Florida in the past couple of years. And that one was at Fort Myers, and they're wondering, where are these human heads coming from, and why are people bringing them to thrift stores?
H.H. Holmes relative. You know, my favorite serial killer. That's what he was doing. This is the guy who went on a murder spree back in the late 1800s, and he was killing these people. Mm-hmm. He was stripping their bodies completely down to the skeleton. Listen, down to the skeleton, and then he was selling the skeletons to medical schools. Because at that time, they didn't ask questions. They just took the skeletons.
Smile and wave, boys.
Yep, all right.
Smile and wave.
Don't want to know how you got it, but thank you, and here's some money.
I feel like anytime someone hands you a human head, it should be suspicious.
It is.
Automatically
it's so suspicious.
You can't say it's not suspicious.
Well, I guess a great place to go to find love would have been the World Cup.
Yeah.
Have you seen this story about a Scottish guy named Tommy Morrison who came to Boston?
Tommy.
And he ended up meeting on a real brief chance a woman named Jill Roberts. And they took some sort of video together because if you recall, all the Scottish people overtook Fenway Park.
Yeah.
She was at a Red Sox game enjoying the game and then ran into this guy. They bumped into each other. They talked for a little bit. She said something to her friends like, hey, I wish I would have gotten his number. The video got posted. Somehow they found each other. His ex-girlfriend commented on it and said, this is a great guy. You should go for him. And she did. She is now going to Glasgow to be with him.
I love it.
How great is that story?
What this screams? Hallmark movie.
How about his ex vouching for him?
She must really want to make sure he is gone.
I don't know about that. No, she'd probably be like, girl, stay away from him. He's garbage.
Would you vouch for like any of your long list of exes? Sure. What about the toilet lady? The lady that threw your phone in the toilet?
Definitely not.
Okay.
No. That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. Hour 2 of 3 is coming up. We've been talking a lot of soccer and how expensive it is. And we've got some things to discuss regarding that. John Rooney, Scott McFarland, all coming up next hour on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Bill, that's a big smile for an old politician.
I'm thinking about our plan. It's slick enough to make a lobbyist blush. First, we hoodwink voters with Amendment 5. Tell them it's a tax cut. Once they're hooked, we decide who pays the higher taxes.
So it's not a tax cut plan, and we don't get a say?
Right, just swaps who pays the tax, but it does remove 3 voter-passed taxpayer constitutional protections. That lets us levy new taxes on services, increase sales taxes, and even tax home sales. And voters will no longer get to vote on tax hikes.
Higher sales taxes on groceries, gas, service taxes on doctor visits, childcare, and even rent on apartments. Jeez. Taxes could exceed 20%.
Sure, they figure that up to 80% of taxpayers will pay more taxes. Many, hundreds more. Seniors, they'll get hit even harder, but our big donors will cut a fat hog.
The ones getting butchered by Amendment 5 are most taxpayers. I'm voting no on 5.
Paid for by Missourians for fair taxation.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for buying gas. That's right, you can earn cash back with Upside just for buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside, and just last year, I made nearly $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get cash back? If you like extra cash, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back when you fill your tank. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It doesn't get any more iconic than the world-famous Budweiser Clydesdales. You've seen them in commercials. Of course, they're part of opening day in St. Louis. And how special is it that you can see these gentle giants up close and in person at their home in Soulard? Of course, I'm talking about the Anheuser-Busch Brewery. It's the home of Budweiser, and it's the home of our favorite horses, the Clydesdales. Check out the Clydesdale VIP experience. There's nothing quite like it, and there's nothing better than wrapping up your tour with an ice-cold Budweiser in the beer garden. BudweiserTours.com.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It is 10 o'clock. We've got sunshine with clouds in downtown St. Louis. It's 82 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterey. The memorandum of understanding between Iran and the U.S. is over, according to President Trump telling ABC News while at the NATO summit in Turkey that Iran's strikes on boats in the Strait of Hormuz is what led the U.S. to retaliate.
They were in the strait, which they have every right to be. And so we hit them very hard last night. Very, very hard. Probably hit them hard again tonight. I'll give them a little warning. We're going to hit them hard tonight.
Trump threatened today to strike Iran's civilian infrastructure, taking out Iran's electric plants and desalination plants. Meanwhile, NATO's Secretary General refused to say whether NATO might play a role in the U.S.-Israeli war on Iran, saying, obviously, Iran is outside NATO territory, but that doesn't mean that NATO could never get involved. A man is dead after a confrontation with Immigration and Customs Enforcement Tuesday morning in Houston.
ICE says its agents were attempting to pull over a van as part of a targeted enforcement operation when Lorenzo Salgado Araujo tried to run them over. That's when the officers shot him to death.
It is a blanket statement that we've seen time and time again.
Cesar Espinosa is with the immigrant rights group Fiel.
They always try to put the blame on their victim.
Fiel and the League of United Latin American Citizens are demanding a transparent investigation of Tuesday's shooting. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
With work zones active again along Missouri's Improve I-70 corridor, transportation leaders are reminding motorists to pay attention when you're behind the wheel. Project Director Eric Kapinski tells MissouriNet the advice for drivers traveling through construction areas remains unchanged.
There will be reduced speeds
There will be reduced lanes as we continue to make progress and get more of the features really across the state open. We think that everyday person is going to be really proud of, there were some work zone impacts, but this is a good investment that Missouri made because it made I-70 operate better for the next 70 years.
MoDOT says the next phase of the Improve I-70 project could begin in the spring of 2027 if a contract for the Kingdom City to Warrenton segment is awarded in November. Missouri Governor Kehoe planning to sign 22 bills into law tomorrow. One of those bills requires pornography websites to verify the user is an adult before being allowed to access sexual content. That would take effect in late August if signed. Another would establish the Interscholastic Athletic Oversight Commission for Missouri's high school athletes. The board would be appointed by the governor and would have the power to overrule decisions made by the Missouri State High School Activities Association.
Sunshine and some clouds this afternoon, quite warm and humid. A spotty thunderstorm mainly south and east of the city, the high 89. Mainly clear, warm and muggy tonight, though 74. Tomorrow, sunshine mixing with clouds, quite warm and humid, the high 91. Watch out for a couple of thunderstorms late tomorrow into tomorrow night that can produce flooding downpours, hail, and damaging winds. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's sunny with some clouds, 82 degrees in downtown St. Louis. The weather sponsored by Huff Heating and Air Conditioning. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
For dependable, no-pressure home comfort solutions, turn to Huff Heating and Air Conditioning. Locally owned and family-operated for over 40 years. Our team will work with you on a plan that fits your home's needs with financing available. And as always, your family's comfort is our family's business. Learn more at huffheating.com.
The Chris and Amy Show is video streaming now on KMOX's YouTube, X, and Facebook pages. Click and subscribe.
Okay, so with the World Cup, a lot of conversations around the sport of soccer. And I will say this. I was on a run with a bunch of my running buddies the other day, and we got into that conversation about the United States and if the best athletes in the United States played soccer and instead of trying to make the NFL or the NBA or Major League Baseball, or even the NHL. Get rid of all those sports and the best athletes in the United States played soccer. Would we be the best team in the world? Would we be one of the best teams in the world? And it kind of filtered down to all these different tangential questions, whether it be, the build of the best player in the world, like Messi, obviously, very different body type than LeBron James, or even an Aaron Judge. So are the body types different and so forth? But then it also went down to youth soccer. It's not like no kids are playing soccer. Every kid plays soccer. I played soccer for 8 years. I'm terrible. I played CYC soccer, but it's not like kids aren't being exposed to soccer. So what is the state of youth soccer in the United States? And Ron, you and I were talking about, we've talked about this a lot, but we were talking about this before the show. Specifically, youth soccer in the United States, if you want to play competitive soccer, travel soccer, it is so expensive. Youth soccer in certain European countries was like Germany or France. The clubs themselves get money when they produce players that go pro or succeed. So basically, in the United States, you have pay to play in youth soccer. And in Europe, the teams themselves are rewarded for inviting players in, developing players who then go on to see success.
And for each player that graduates to a top-tier league, and this is a UEFA thing, that if they get to a top-tier league like EPL, English Premier League, or Bundesliga or something like that, these academies that train those kids per player, they'll get tens of thousands of dollars for each player when they sign a contract. And it all depends on the age, how long they end up playing. But the bottom line is these academies exist to create professional, top-tier level talent. Like, that's why they exist. I think the problem in the United States, and there are a number of them, but I think this is across youth sports in general, it's not really about development. When you start to get to some of these traveling teams, and I'm not talking about just soccer, it's baseball, it's a lot of different stuff. where it's not about how do we teach these kids the right way to play. It's can we win? Can we win? And a lot of these soccer academies are built nearer where people live who have means already. So because their goal is to attract the parents with money and resources to send their kids to these academies, pay the however much money it is, $10,000, $20,000 a year, whatever it is for them to play. Then they get to play, and then they want to win so that they can go back to the parents in the area and say, look what we've done. We win. So if you do want your kid to come play for a winner, well, you're going to pay us. And like that's what the coaches seem to be more concerned about instead of actually developing players at the age they need to. I've mentioned Landon Donovan a number of times. He's one of the best soccer players this country has ever produced. And you might disagree with him, but he is adamant that one of the biggest problems is we don't have the best coaches coaching the younger players. We have the best coaches at the higher levels. But in Europe, they don't do it that way. They send their best coaches, and he used this guy who was 60 years old. He didn't name him, but somebody who had been doing it for 25 years at the lowest levels because he's one of the best in the country. And the whole point is to get these kids ready to play soccer and know how to play the right way and the fundamentals and all of that. And it's not about actually winning a 9U game or an 8U league or something like that. It's about getting these kids ready to play. And he told a story about his son who's small. And Landon Donovan is a smaller guy. And his son is also small and was playing for an 8-under team. Or maybe it was a 9-under, whatever. It was young kids. And he had to have a conversation with his son because the coaches decided to replace a handful of the 8U kids with these bigger kids who are a little better. And he was talking about how he was crying, having to tell his son because his son, all he said was, I just want to play with my friends.
Yeah.
And these kids, all they care about is playing with their friends. But the people running these academies care about winning. You shouldn't care about winning when they're 8. Nobody cares. I'm telling you right now, other than the parents, nobody gives a crap if your youth team is any good at sports. What they're there for is to learn how to play the game right. That's why they're there. They're not there to win championships. Nobody gives a rat's ass if they win or if they're good. And you tell an 8-year-old kid, hey, sorry, you don't get to be on this team anymore. We're replacing you with better people. And that kid's response is, well, I just want to play with my friends. That is heartbreaking. Are you kidding me? That's how we're making decisions? That's insanity.
Yeah. And that's like you said, there's no monocausal explanation for why the United States is not more competitive in soccer. I do think that's one of them. I know for me, CYC soccer was great because you get to play with your friends.
Yeah, that's all it should be.
You're not a travel team. I get, when I guess kids are traveling at 8, which seems awfully young, but a huge issue.
Because you know what it turns into, Amy? And I don't mean to derail you, but this becomes more about the parents than about the kids.
No, and I think that happens in a lot of sports, but it absolutely does. So there was a really interesting tweet. The @ on Twitter is at Sportbook Reviews, but it looks at this tweet came out after the U.S. men's national team lost. And the tweet said, why can't the USA have a dominant soccer team? Look how much it costs to play under 9 soccer for my local team, which is what you're saying, 8-year-olds. My parents didn't even pay 10% of this in a total for 8 years of me playing as a kid in Ireland, the fan wrote. And to back that claim, the fan posted the official invoice for that season of 9U soccer for a local team. And it costs this fan almost $3,300, $3,300. It was the Virginia Valor FC. And he posted the actual invoice from it. And that's what they're saying, this pay-to-play system where families have to pay thousands of dollars once you move from the CYC route to the competitive route. It's going to cost thousands of dollars for club registration. That doesn't count budgeting for the uniform. Then you have tournament fees, a ton, like thousands of dollars in tournament fees, licensed coaching, private training lessons, player development programs. And then the expenses continue to rise more and more as the teams get more competitive. And as one person, a soccer parent, noted, it's not really how good your kid is, it's how much money does your family have.
That's the biggest problem, and that's absolutely wrong. It should not be that you get access to the best facilities, the best coaching, just because your parents have money. Sorry. It's just not how it should be, especially if we are as a country, and I just don't think that we are. I think that we like the idea of being way better at soccer and competing with the rest of the world, but we don't actually want to do the work to get there because I don't think we care enough.
Well, and what's interesting,
I think people just care about their own lives in the moment, and they think, well, I want my 8-year-old to have the best team, be on the best team, have the best coaching. That's what I care about. They don't care about what happens with the U.S. men's national team.
And I think, just going back to this conversation, would the U.S. be dominant if all the best athletes in the country played soccer? I have a hard time believing that we wouldn't be a lot more competitive.
So here's what I think it is.
I think to a point, but I will say, and I'll just make this point, soccer is the one sport where being smaller isn't as big of a disadvantage as it is in some of the other sports, like football, obviously, or the NBA, even Major League Baseball. Soccer, if you do happen to be of smaller stature, I think you have
still be really good.
A better chance.
Lionel Messi.
Yeah.
He was, in fact, I was just reading a story, which I did not know this, but he's 5'7" now. And when he was
growing.
when he was a child, like he had an actual growth hormone deficiency.
Oh, wow.
That he was going to be really, really small, but he had to get, I forgot, I don't know if it was weekly or monthly injections in his legs just so he could grow because he was going to be very, very tiny. And look at him. He's one of the best players in the world, and he's short. He's a little guy. He's arguably the best of all time. And you don't see a ton of huge soccer players. There are some. Erling Haaland, who is gained a lot of popularity. Ronaldo's a big dude, too, but that's not necessarily the norm. I think when it comes to the best athletes in the country, if they were to filter their way to soccer instead of playing basketball or playing football, I used to think that was the bigger issue, that kids are just more interested in football and basketball and baseball than they are in soccer. And that could be some of it, but I don't think that's all of it. I think that it is about training more than anything else because we have the numbers. We have 340 million people in the country. We have way more children here in the United States than in most other countries, where Belgium has, who just cleaned our clocks, they have like 11 million people total in the country, right? There's no reason that the United States can't train enough young kids to compete with the rest of the world. The problem is we just don't have enough academies, and it is pay to play.
Well, and the thing is, I mean, you have more kids playing soccer in the United States than you do playing football. Almost twice as many. They're all exposed to it. You have more kids playing soccer, I believe, than baseball. In fact, once you get to high school, football is more popular and some of these other sports are more popular. But at the very early ages, more kids in the United States are playing soccer. So there's that initial exposure. But then, like we said, you know why I stopped playing soccer? Because CYC ended in 8th grade, and it was either play competitive high school or competitive travel ball, or travel soccer, and I wasn't that good. I mean, I wasn't going to pay all that money.
Your options are limited.
Yes.
And we treat, in this country, college soccer like it's the thing, right? Well, collegiate athletes, collegiate soccer players, it's not like in college, the sport is not for, like it is for the NBA or for the NFL. It's not for filtering players into that league, where basically, the reason the NBA draft and NFL draft are so important is because those players are coming out of college, and those college systems are directly feeding into the professionals. That's not what happens in college soccer. Because if you're 18 to 21 years old and you're playing college soccer, it's very unlikely you're one of the best players in the whole world. because those guys, these 16, 17, 18-year-olds, are not going to college to play soccer. I'm talking about the best players in the whole world.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to these academies. That's where they're going. They're not going to North Carolina. I mean, like, you can have a good collegiate soccer team. We got a great one here in St. Louis. The Billikens are a really fun and good soccer program, but it is not the same as going to one of these academies.
No, it's not. And like we said, when you look at youth numbers, and some of these numbers, it depends on how it's categorized. But before high school, soccer is very, very popular. A lot of times it's the number one sport. Basketball, obviously, is a very popular sport. It's right up there because you have CYC basketball as well and all of that. But soccer tops the lists, a lot of lists before high school for the most popular sport. Once you hit high school, it drops.
Yeah, that's right.
Basketball, football, baseball, volleyball, all
kids don't feel like they have options.
Yeah.
Anywhere to go. That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. We'll talk to Jen Cease about this very thing at 11 o'clock. We'll get her expertise on it. And we'd like to hear from you as well. If you are a parent of a kid who's playing soccer and you have thoughts on this issue, 314-436-7900. It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Things in Washington, D.C. may seem unsettled at times by their lack of progress. But one department in the U.S. government is progressing. That is the IRS. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. The IRS is in full function to collect on unpaid taxes. If you've been putting off a tax problem, it's time to call the Lance Story Law Firm and get it resolved. Don't think the government is too busy to focus on my issues. Too many of my clients thought the same. So if you owe back taxes or haven't filed returns in years, it's time to call the Lance Story Law Firm and finally resolve your tax issues. Remember, if you have tax problems, you have legal problems. Call the Lance Story Law Firm. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Or call 314-260-6120 or visit LanceStoryLaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
This year, America celebrates 250 years. 2.5 centuries of courage, sacrifice, and family stories passed down from one generation to the next. Hi, I'm Nick Mako.
And I'm Adam Baselogger, founders of Legacy Box. Your family's piece of the American story is sitting in an attic or closet right now, trapped on aging VHS tapes, camcorder tapes, film reels, and fading photos.
Those boxes hold moments you can never recreate. Your wedding day, your children's voices when they were little, grandparents coming back to life on screen.
Over 2 million families have trusted Legacy Box. And we've just partnered with the USO to digitize fragile handwritten letters from World War II, helping preserve American history for future generations.
As America turns 250, remember that your family is a part of the American story. Preserving those voices, faces, and moments is a part of your responsibility to the next generation. Don't let them disappear on your watch.
Visit legacybox.com/radio for our amazing America 250 sale. That's legacybox.com/radio to save.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
This year, America celebrates 250 years. 2.5 centuries of courage, sacrifice, and family stories passed down from one generation to the next. Hi, I'm Nick Mako.
And I'm Adam Baselogger, founders of Legacy Box. Your family's piece of the American story is sitting in an attic or closet right now, trapped on aging VHS tapes, camcorder tapes, film reels, and fading photos.
Those boxes hold moments you can never recreate. Your wedding day, your children's voices when they were little, grandparents coming back to life on screen.
Over 2 million families have trusted Legacy Box. And we've just partnered with the USO to digitize fragile handwritten letters from World War II, helping preserve American history for future generations.
As America turns 250, remember that your family is a part of the American story. Preserving those voices, faces, and moments is a part of your responsibility to the next generation. Don't let them disappear on your watch.
Visit legacybox.com/radio for our amazing America 250 sale. That's legacybox.com/radio to save.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. We're partners committed to you, your business, and your community. From family law to litigation, we're ready to serve. Visit sandbergphoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
One city, one voice. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
It's Chris and Amy on KMOX. We're talking about youth soccer and the difficulties surrounding it, the expense of it, and why the United States is not better at soccer. We solicited your calls and text messages, 314-436-7900. In Wildwood, Heidi joins the show. Good morning, Heidi.
Good morning. I just have a couple of comments. And I did have kids that played travel soccer. They're they're grown now. But the main thing, other countries don't have interests or leagues of competing sports like football and baseball. There's no feeder into it where kids here have plenty of options to choose from. And number two, what we found is a lot of parents that went the travel soccer route were spending that money hoping for college scholarships because college is so expensive. So that's just my two thoughts.
Yeah, and I think that's all legitimate.
Yeah,
and I do think again, the interest in other sports, kids growing up do play soccer. But I think they know they're going to hit a wall because there's no real, other than maybe playing in college, there's no professional aspirations. But if you play basketball, obviously you can make it to the NBA. I mean, your odds are very, very small. Or NFL, same deal, right? But the more time goes by, and I've had people try to convince me of this, and it's, I think, starting to hit with me a little bit, that we just, because of how many people we have in the country, just the sheer numbers alone, we should have enough kids to compete with the rest of the world.
And they're exposed to it as a young age, so it's not like they're not familiar with the sport. So going back to the cost and how the sport of soccer is self-eliminating when it comes to families, a lot of competitive travel soccer costs up to $6,000 a year before travel expenses. So remind you, the club costs $6,000 a year before travel expenses. Elite leagues like the ECNL and MLS Next, we've heard of the MLS Next because I know City's got one, but those can push yearly spending beyond $15,000 a year for families.
Yeah.
Before travel expenses. And so when you're looking at one child playing soccer and you're spending, $9,000 on travel and gear and training, or thousands of dollars on private coaching, or just thousands of dollars on club fees, there's a lot of other options that families can take that would be cheaper. So even if you didn't have basketball, football, and baseball competing for your child's talent, there would be a limiting factor. The barrier to entry would be cost.
Well, as Dave, who is watching us on YouTube, says, soccer is a hell of a lot cheaper than baseball or hockey for kids. Yeah, the sport itself is, because all you need is a ball and shoes. But the leagues, if you want to play on a team, that's what the cost really is.
Because we're talking CYC is fine.
Yeah, let's talk to Tom and Glen Carbon quickly. What's going on, Tom?
Hi, guys. Of course, there's the monetary angle to it. One thing about American collegiate soccer, though, is you only get to play 20 games in the fall, more or less. So you don't get the repetition within the age group like you do in Europe.
That's true, and that's why the absolute best players in this country are going to European academies. They don't stay in the United States because we don't have the same level of instruction here that they do in other countries. The other European countries and countries around the world are just more committed to it than we are. Appreciate the phone calls. We'll talk to John Rooney. Little Cardinals baseball is coming up when we come back. And as we talk about soccer, it is the biggest stage in the world right now. And the men's national team, quite a disappointing exit to this tournament. Just not a very good performance at all on Monday. But the tournament does go on, and nothing today, but there are games tomorrow. And the biggest stage in the world, FanDuel, is changing the game right now. So let's say you've put a little wager on a player to score, and that player gets subbed out at some point during the game. Well, normally your bet goes along with him, and then it's off the table. Well, that's not what you want, and neither does FanDuel. So they introduced a thing called Super Sub, meaning if your player does get subbed out during the course of the match, somebody who replaces him, that substitute, is going to take on that bet for you. So you can stay in the game right up until the final whistle. Just go to FanDuel.com/Missouri to sign up. FanDuel.com/Missouri. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Bill, that's a big smile for an old politician.
I'm thinking about our plan. It's slick enough to make a lobbyist blush. First, we hoodwink voters with Amendment 5. Tell them it's a tax cut. Once they're hooked, we decide who pays the higher taxes.
So it's not a tax cut plan, and we don't get a say?
Right, just swaps who pays the tax, but it does remove 3 voter-passed taxpayer constitutional protections. That lets us levy new taxes on services, increase sales taxes, and even tax home sales. And voters will no longer get to vote on tax hikes.
Higher sales taxes on groceries, gas, service taxes on doctor visits, childcare, and even rent on apartments. Jeez. Taxes could exceed 20%.
Sure, they figure that up to 80% of taxpayers will pay more taxes. Many, hundreds more. Seniors, they'll get hit even harder, but our big donors will cut a fat hog.
The ones getting butchered by Amendment 5 are most taxpayers. I'm voting no on 5.
Paid for by Missourians for fair taxation.
Some shows are about sports. Some shows are about nothing. This one's kind of both.
So the show's not really a sports show per se, it's just a show. Glover here, we talk about whatever is happening, life, work, random stuff. And yeah, the Cardinals always find their way in. I'm a lifelong fan, love going to the games, love supporting the team, and love hanging out with you guys.
The Dave Glover Show at 1, and then Cardinals baseball. Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
84 degrees and pretty cloudy out there. Clouds and some glimpses of blue sky or a thunderstorm, depending on where you are. A high of 88. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy and very humid. A low of 71.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Giddy up! Cardinal Cowboy here. Summer heat can put your garage door to the test. Stay ahead of the game with a Renner Garage Door Summer Tune-Up. Plus, score a free repair or replacement quote and $100 off a new garage door. Forward and back.
RENNER. After a disaster, emotional recovery takes time. Show Me Hope Missouri offers free, confidential support wherever you are. Call or text 1-800-985-5990 and connect with a local crisis counselor today. From Missouri Department of Mental Health.
You feel it every time you check out. Prices up, paychecks stretched, families squeezed. That's why Ann Wagner's fighting to get government off your back and out of your way. Wagner passed the largest tax cut in American history, expanded child tax credits, ended taxes on tips, overtime, and Social Security. And Wagner is working to lower costs so families keep more of their hard-earned money. But Ann Wagner knows delivering for Missouri means more than just protecting their wallets. It means protecting our streets as well. That's why Wagner fought to secure our border, deport dangerous illegal aliens, partner with law enforcement, and put predators behind bars and off our streets so our neighborhoods and communities stay safe. Because real effective leadership protects what matters most: your money, your family, your safety. Ann Wagner for Congress.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
Today, the Cards, the Brewers.
Hamlin Total Access 550. First pitch 645.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM KMOX. Now, the Cardinals Conversation on KMOX. Sponsored by Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we've got Missouri covered.
And this doubleheader is over. Milwaukee won the first game 4-3 and then rolled in the second game 10-2.
It's not been very good for the Cardinals in this series against Milwaukee. They dropped the first one after having a 3-0 lead late. They let that one get away. And then yesterday, both of a doubleheader. That's not good. And there are 2 still games left to play, so, you know, maybe they can rebound here. But the Brewers are a very, very good team. And you know what's disappointing about yesterday, other than the losses? They got to Jacob Misiorowski early. They had a couple of home runs off the guy, and he doesn't normally give up that kind of meat. And he did yesterday. And Ivan Herrera hit a 102.4 mile an hour fastball out for a home run. I believe it's the hardest hit home run, and he's gotten them before. So, I mean, there was some encouraging stuff, and then they just couldn't hang on to a lead. So, if you're wondering where the Cardinals are, they are 2 games back of a wild card spot now with the Marlins right in front of them. Then it's the Phillies, then the Cubs. So, Miami, Philly, and Chicago, those are your 3 wild cards if the season came to an end. So, Birds are right there in it. It's just a matter of having to not let this stretch of baseball get away from them. Because remember, about a week and a half ago, you might have been out, but we had a lot of conversations about this stretch. I mean, they got the Braves, they have the Cubs, they got Milwaukee, they have the Braves again. This is a tough stretch of baseball. Stay afloat, do well. They had been doing well until this Milwaukee series. So it's not looking good right now.
I didn't get to see, how was Tarps off yesterday?
I think early. I mean, it was okay. I mean, just not as many people as there were on Monday. There were a lot of people on Monday.
Yeah. We talked about this, how winning and being fun to watch is going to go a long way and helping the organic Tarps off momentum continue.
Yeah.
Are you worried?
About what? Tarps off? No. If it dies, it dies. I mean, I hope it sticks around, but if it fizzles out, then it does. But I think it's a cool thing.
Do you think it's going to fizzle out if the Cardinals struggle?
I think for the rest of the year, there will at least be a few people out there doing it.
I think that's fair.
Even if they start to play better, obviously those numbers will grow, but that's just a hard thing to keep up for an entire season.
I think I haven't done the math in a while, but as you know, I said the Cardinals were going to win 93 games. I think they're going to have to play like 20 games over 500 from here on out for them to hit that.
Yeah,
number.
they're not gonna win 93 games. You got to stop making dumb declarations.
That was not a dumb declaration.
That was a very bad one. Hey,
okay, I will say this. On July 4th, of the 2 declarations that were made, mine was probably the worst.
It was the worst.
Yeah.
We were expecting to hook up with John Rooney. Have not been able to do that, and I don't know. We'll see if we do. But I got another thing for you. Let's go back to soccer for a minute.
Sure.
So yesterday, after our show, I guess the game started during our show, Egypt and Argentina.
Yes.
And so,
oh, my gosh.
And so Egypt took a 2-0 lead. They actually had a goal wiped out, which I think is absolute BS. But the VAR intervened, like it always does, and really just ruins the game. They've got to do something about VAR because it's bad. So they waved off the goal, but then Egypt scored anyway, and they got the second goal. So it's 2-0. And Lionel Messi and Argentina, they're on the verge of being booted from the tournament.
Yep.
And then within a matter of minutes, they cough it up. And I have to...
I think it was 13 minutes for all the goals.
Yes, so Argentina ended up, winning the game.
Yeah.
But they scored a couple of times, and Messi got one. And I know you love the Spanish call. This is Andres Cantor, who is a legend.
Okay.
And this is when Messi scored this improbable goal. I believe it was in the 90th minute or right around there. The game was almost over, and he did this.
Otra vez Messi. Se desvía la pelota que cae al área. No pudo Julián Messi. ¡Gol! ¡Argentino! Que este equipo no te va a dejar tirado, dijo un día Messi. Que está viejo, que tiene 39, viejos son los trapos. Que está fundido. ¿Quién? El relator.
Dude, I got to tell
so
you,
good.
that's it is one of the, if you could argue,
Yeah.
it could be number one all time, but it's definitely top 5 announcer losing his crap.
Yeah. No.
It's awesome.
So here's the thing.
First of all, that guy's been doing that, and
Yeah.
he's been calling games 30 plus years. And if you don't know anything about him, that's his signature, is that he yells goal and he draws it out for like 30 seconds. I don't know how he's got the lungs for it, but he does. But he lost his crap so much yesterday that he couldn't even get it out.
Yeah, he
that
lost
was
his voice.
Awesome.
It's so
awesome.
good. So here's the thing. And we talk a lot about broadcasting in St. Louis because we have such a heritage and a legacy. But a lot of times, whether it's like Al Michaels or Bob Costas or Jack Buck, and you have these great moments, they make the call, but then we say, what's so great is they let it breathe. They let the crowd, they let the environment, the excitement, the moment, they let it breathe and didn't talk over it. And I have realized that the best way to really give a moment like the Messi goal, its full glory is either to let it breathe or to just absolutely suffocate it with your call, which this guy did. And when I say he talked over it the whole time and yelled over it, it was so much better. So I guess you got to pick one. You either have to let it breathe or you have to suffocate it.
Andres Cantor is a legend.
Yes.
He's just
so good.
Awesome stuff. And we were talking about the Telemundo broadcast where there's a little bit of a rift.
So I know, and maybe we can get more into this when we have more time, but there is some tension between Telemundo and Fox and NBC because Telemundo is really pulling some English speakers, non-Spanish speakers. 20% of Telemundo's World Cup viewers say English is their primary language. And Telemundo has even leaned into the English speakers because they got Owen Wilson, who they note is not Latino nor known to speak Spanish, for an ad campaign. And Telemundo broke into English during a match to thank its English-speaking viewers for joining them.
Because even if you don't know what's being said, it is just far more exciting of a call.
And I think there are fewer ads, too. Like, they don't break in with the water breaks, and it's more exciting of a call. I agree.
All right, so let's break from soccer for a moment. We are going to talk to Jen Cease at 11 o'clock about youth sports and youth soccer and how this country can catch up. But when we come back, Chief Washington correspondent for Midas Touch, Scott McFarland, will be on the show here on Chris and Amy on KMOX.
All right, so you work hard all year long, but especially in the spring and summer to keep your lawn looking its absolute best. And the thing is, moles and their tunnels can undo all of your hard work in no time. So unsightly tunnels and damaged landscaping from the moles, it's not just frustrating. It's a sign to call Rottler. Rottler's annual mole control program. It's super simple. You'll enjoy one simple fixed price for the year. No charge per mole. That's nice, especially if you have a proliferation of moles. That means no surprise costs, no matter how many moles decide to make their home in your yard. The program also includes comprehensive exterior treatments, follow-up visits between scheduled services if needed, and a year-round warranted protection to keep your property looking its best. And because it's all exterior, you don't even need to be home for Rottler to perform the service. Don't let moles take over your yard and ruin your yard. Call Rottler today or visit Rottler.com.
At Missouri Farm Bureau Health Plans, your health is our commitment. That's why we provide high-quality health coverage at affordable rates to Missourians like you. And unlike other options, you can apply at any time throughout the year. From individual and family plans to dental vision coverage, our plan options are designed to meet your needs. Together we care, together we grow, together we thrive. Missouri Farm Bureau Health Plans. Plan on us. Visit us at mofbhealthplans.com and contact your agent today.
The Cardinals Hall of Fame and Museum is the official home of Cardinals history. For those who want to be a part of one of the sport's greatest collections in the world, museum membership is the way to go. Cardinals Museum membership provides unlimited admission for 1 year, exclusive Hall of Fame bobbleheads, discounts, ticket offers, and more, in addition to supporting exhibit design and artifact restoration. There are a variety of membership levels, including our ultimate level of membership. For more info and to join, go to cardinals.com/membership.
The soundtrack of classic rock is coming to Hollywood Casino Amphitheater August 6th. Leonard Skinner and Foreigner joining forces for one epic night of legendary hits and unforgettable memories. It's the Double Trouble Double Vision Tour. From Sweet Home Alabama to Cold as Ice. Don't miss your chance to experience these two rock and roll Hall of Fame acts in one incredible show. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Let's take a break.
Good idea.
Hey, Tom, what are you doing on that Amendment 4?
You know, we fought for our freedom and rights. I'm not giving them away without a fight.
4 takes them?
That's exactly what 4 does. For over 100 years, Missouri voters have used our constitutional power to act when the politicians refused. I'll be darned if I'm voting to pass on less freedom and power to my kids.
And doesn't 4 also kill majority rule?
Yup. Creates minority rule, or just 5% of the most liberal statewide voters in one Missouri congressional district that block any citizen-led reform, making it nearly impossible to pass common-sense conservative citizen ballot measures.
That's crazy town stuff.
And we've needed our citizen ballot measure power to pass some big conservative stuff, like outlawing tax hikes without voter approval, lobbyist reforms, and term limits for career politicians.
No way I'm letting a tiny fraction of liberals derail our conservative power. I've no on Amendment 4.
Hard no on 4.
Pay 4 buttons or inch per care governance.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Markscores, because life is too short for boring radio. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Every Wednesday, we talk to Chief Washington correspondent for Midas Touch, Scott McFarland, formerly CBS News. You might recall him there. And he is with us on the Quiver River Electric guest line today. Lots to get into with Scott. How's it going, sir?
Good morning to you both. Good to talk to you.
Well, it's good to have you with us, and we're doing well. I know you didn't ask. We are doing well. How is Mitch McConnell doing? What is going on there? Because There was a report a couple of days ago that he was brain dead. And then yesterday, you've got the likes of Scott Jennings saying, well, I'll just talk to him. He's doing fine. So what's going on with him?
Here's a bad sign. The governor of Kentucky, Andy Beshear, has asked Mitch McConnell to update Kentuckians on McConnell's health. He wants some version of a proof of life. He says that Mitch McConnell owes it to his constituents to tell them how he's doing. That the governor is not only asking, but Chris and Amy, that the governor is asking publicly through a publicized memo. It's not a good sign that there's open communications on this. You referenced the McConnell supporters who, one after another, said they had had 20-minute-long phone calls with McConnell yesterday in which they talked about X, Y, and Z topics. Now, that did not mute the concerns because everybody seemed to have an exactly 20-minute conversation with Mitch McConnell, almost as if that was a synchronized or choreographed public outreach campaign. There's going to be some pressure on Mitch McConnell to tell us what his prognosis is and how he's doing to put these fears, rumors, or concerns to bed.
You know, Scott, one thing that is not a surprise, but you've noticed is the way people are concerned or not concerned about this is really falling along partisan lines. And I've seen people bring up, well, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin went to the hospital and there was mystery about that back in 2024. How would you compare and contrast these two situations with Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin at the time in 2024 and this situation now?
Different for a few reasons. And trust me, Mitch McConnell is not the first senator who's gone quiet, who has raised questions about his health and well-being. Same thing happened in Mississippi a few years ago with a Republican senator named Thad Cochran. Same happened in West Virginia a few years ago with a Democratic senator named Robert Byrd. Both of those two have passed since. There's no executive function for Mitch McConnell. Like he's not in charge of war and peace like Lloyd Austin was. He doesn't have the nuclear codes. He's a legislator. He's a debater. He's a bill writer, not bill signer. So perhaps people view it as a different responsibility to the public. He doesn't have emergency powers, but Mitch McConnell is no rank and file senator. He obviously has outsized influence inside his party, so people would like to know what's going on. And I'll tell you, Chris and Amy, what struck me over the last 24 hours, there is just a distasteful, joking discourse on social media about Mitch McConnell's health. It is really in horrible taste, no matter one's political persuasions or their views on McConnell.
And I think what's also interesting about it is when Biden was president, you know, it was just nonstop from that side of the aisle. It was nonstop. Oh, he's not fit to be there. Clearly, he's losing it, and we could see there was some deterioration there. We could all see that, but why is there not the same sort of concern now for McConnell?
Much different role. I mean, again, he's a legislator. He doesn't have the ability to singularly, unilaterally do anything in government the way a president or a cabinet member does. And he still has some outsized sway, even in diminished physical capacity. He still has the ability to put his name on things, to put his staff on things, and to leverage it on behalf of his constituents in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. You know, that's my argument for why, even diminished or even invisible from the public eye, Mitch McConnell can still be impactful. A president has to have executive function, has to have full faculties. This is a bit different, but that the governor of Kentucky has just asked Mitch McConnell for a proof of life means there's obviously something going on here. And if the governor has to call him out publicly, it's clear the governor is not getting answers privately.
Yeah, Scott, we'll keep an eye on that situation for sure. Meanwhile, overnight, there were strikes from the U.S. to Iran, Iran and the U.S. exchanging strikes, I should say. And President Trump has said that the ceasefire with Iran is over. He called the leaders of Iran scum. Where are we with that right now in the strikes?
He also called the leaders of Iran cuckoo, Amy. So they're scum and they're cuckoo. And
which isn't necessarily wrong.
And with due respect to Cocoa Puffs, sometimes cuckoo has a good connotation. It doesn't mean he's wrong. It's typically on Earth One a uniquely provocative thing to say on the world stage, and geopolitically it would seem to be poisonous to call somebody with whom you're trying to engage in peace talks scum and cuckoo. For Trump, it's hard to differentiate between him trying to get negotiating leverage and him watching openly a peace plan fall apart. It's one of those two things. Oil prices, oil futures have soared on this news. There seems to be a war footing underway at the Pentagon because Central Command struck 80 targets while we were sleeping last night, and Iran has promised to strike back. This has all the hallmarks of a peace plan falling apart. And this war, among its many downsides, was a political albatross for Trump and his allies. And we are closer now to the election than we were when the peace process began. We are less than 120 days, and this thing could be a real risk for Republican incumbents coast to coast.
Scott McFarland with us on KMOX. And yesterday, Graham Plattner, who had won the primary in Maine, and he's gotten a lot of attention because now there's a sexual assault allegation against him. Much of the Democratic Party has said he needs to go now and he needs to back out of the race. Yesterday, he was defiant, but there is reporting that he and his side are looking for ways to exit. So what's going to happen here?
Every hour he waits, every day he waits, he makes life harder for his own party. How do we know this? Well, we have some recent experience with this, don't we, Chris? We watched in the summer of 2024 when people were trying to push President Biden out of the race. The longer he waited, those weeks he kept hanging on, made the runway shorter for Kamala Harris. Every day Graham Plattner waits, the runway is shorter for a Democratic candidate who would have to stand up a campaign and have this uniquely narrow field in which to fight Susan Collins, to raise money, to put up ads, to have a campaign. This is a lose-lose situation for Democrats at the moment as Graham Plattner clings to his candidacy. There's nobody here in Washington, I mean nobody, who thinks he's going to stick around and run this race into the ground. This is like the SS Minnow. It's going to get crashed into shore. Gilligan, the skipper, Ginger, Marianne, everybody's going to be stuck. It's just a matter of how fast they reckon with that truth and try to put somebody else on the boat.
And a lot of prominent Democrats who previously supported Plattner are publicly, openly rescinding their support for him.
There's nobody left. I mean, everybody found their lifeboats. Bernie Sanders was the person who championed this campaign. He's bailed. Elizabeth Warren, Ro Khanna of California was one of the most forthright defenders of Graham Plattner after the first set of allegations. They're all gone. He's got no infrastructure. The Democratic Party says it will not give him money. It will not give him resources. You can't win a battleground Senate race without the party's money and the party's muscle. He has to get off of this ship. But for now, he's sticking with it.
So who ultimately replaces him, because there's just no real way that he can stay in this race as we're discussing?
These are not household names, but in Maine, they are among Democrats. The Secretary of State in Maine is a woman named Shenna Bellows. She did the cable TV circuit pretty robustly in 2023 because she was the one. She was the first one to try to get Trump's name off the ballot, claiming the January 6th insurrection made him ineligible to hold office in America. She didn't win that fight, but she got some notoriety. She's one of them. There are some failed gubernatorial candidates out there who came up short in their gubernatorial primary in Maine. They have a campaign infrastructure. One's a former Biden health administration official. One is a former state senator. They have at least the capacity to stand up a campaign rapidly, but they're doing this from scratch. And that's tough when you're fighting an institutional legend like the Republican Senator Susan Collins in Maine.
You know, when you're looking at candidates that are winning key races, whether locally or on a national scale, I bring this up because you have Zoran Mamdani in New York. Is that indicative of a rise of Democratic Socialists in America, or is that unique to New York? When you go to this Maine race, so goes Susan Collins, so goes the Republican Party, or do you think this seat's unique to Maine?
This is going to be unique because Maine is always unique. Maine always cuts a different political complexion from the rest of the country. But we should all pay attention to the rise of Democratic Socialists of America, at least in terms of a political science lesson. This is a reckoning inside the Democratic Party with who they want to be. Do they want to fight fire with fire in the era of Trump? Do they want to throw sharp elbows, break norms, shatter norms, and fight? Or do they want to try to restore the normalcy that existed before Trump? They're having that battle right now. You're seeing it play out in primaries. It's going to decide who wins the primary in Michigan another battleground state where you have an insurgent candidate against an institutionalist. You're going to see that play out in Wisconsin in the gubernatorial primaries. They're going to hash this out now, perhaps setting the stage for what kind of candidate they want to nominate in 2028. Do you want to be Trump against Trump, or do you want to turn the page on this Trumpism the way President Biden tried to do?
Scott McFarland, we enjoyed these conversations. Let's do it again next Wednesday.
Did I show myself to be a dude when I mentioned Ginger and Marianne early on in the Gilligan's Island conversation?
It's a reference, Scott, that might be a little dated.
No, it's what the youths are talking about.
The youths are talking about Ginger and Marianne.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Amy.
You're welcome, Scott.
Thank you, Scott. We're
What
on
y'all
your
do?
side. Don't worry. Scott McFarland, Chief Washington Correspondent for Midas Touch. Hour 3 of the show starts next.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Glover. Right now, buy 4 windows and get 4 for free and 48 months with 0% interest, same as cash. 314-334-2522. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight discussing sarcomas with Dr. Angela Herbie.
In small groups of patients, there is an inherited genetic risk, but this is the vast minority of patients. And we typically identify these groups of individuals because of numerous family members having these rare cancers, and many of them being young. When I say young, anybody under the age of 40.
Thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.washu.edu.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
You know, here in St. Louis, word of mouth still matters, and I'm pretty careful about who I recommend, especially when it comes to something as personal as estate planning. I'm Tom Ackerman. My family has been working with the Laderman Law Firm for over 20 years now, and the reason is simple. They don't just create documents and send you on your way. They help make sure your plan works. Because let's be honest, life changes. Family needs and circumstances change. Laws change. But most estate plans don't change over time as needs, circumstances, and laws change. They're outdated, sitting in a drawer. People assume they're fine, and their plan will work when they need it to work. At the Laderman Law Firm, it's not a one-time transaction. It's an ongoing process. They build a plan to protect your family and your assets, and then for a fixed annual fee, they help keep it up to date as both your life and assets change. Check out the Laderman Law Firm at LadermanLaw.com or give them a call at 314-514-9100. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It is 11 o'clock, and right now in downtown St. Louis, we've got sunshine, 84 degrees, and some clouds as well. I'm Debbie Monterey. A new analysis shows even higher premiums for those on Affordable Care Act health plans in the coming year. ABC's Sherry Preston has more on the costs.
Public filings show 77 insurers who provide coverage through the Affordable Care Act are proposing a second straight year of double-digit premiums. On average, premiums that'll be 14% higher. The companies cite mounting health care costs and the recent expiration of enhanced subsidies for the higher premiums. The people hit the hardest will be those who don't qualify for financial help. A recent Georgetown University analysis shows many of them have seen their costs double or even triple, and those costs will go up even more next year.
Kentucky's governor says GOP Senator Mitch McConnell owes the state an explanation for his 3-week-long hospitalization amid a swirl of online rumors about McConnell's health. We get more from ABC's Stephen Portnoy.
In a letter to the 84-year-old 7-term senator, Kentucky's Democratic governor says citizens of his state have grown increasingly concerned about Mitch McConnell's health and his ability to hold office. Andy Beshear asks that McConnell fully update Kentuckians on his current status. Top Republicans in the Senate say they've spoken with McConnell this week by phone, describing him as engaged and eager to return to work. But McConnell's office has not said why he remains hospitalized.
St. Louis Public Schools weighing options that would shrink the number of schools from 62 down to somewhere between 40 and 47. That could mean new buildings, new bus routes, or different grade groupings for some kids. SLPS holding the first of 3 community meetings tonight from 5 to 7 at Vashon High School. No decisions will be made at these meetings, but the district says it's an opportunity for community members to learn more about the plan and provide feedback. You may have heard the phrase, it's 10 p.m., do you know where your children are? But what about your dog?
O'Fallon Police and Animal Control Officer Danielle Lamb says summer is the busiest season for her.
Kids are home more often, so they tend to let the dog out more often, out the front door, or they don't shut a gate, or they don't lock the side yard. So summer is pretty busy as far as animals at large go.
Lamb says the majority of calls revolve around loose animals and dog bites. And while heat waves can sometimes bring higher volumes of calls, she says last week was pretty average.
From the 1st to the 7th, we had 20 animal calls, and 15 of them were animals that had gotten out.
Lamb adds that she didn't have to rescue any pets from hot cars, which was a relief. Jade Aubrey, KMOX News.
Sunshine mixing with clouds, quite warm and humid this afternoon with a stray thunderstorm mainly to the south and east of St. Louis, the high 89. Mainly clear tonight, warm and muggy, low 74. Sunshine and building clouds tomorrow, very warm and humid with a high of 91. Look for a couple of heavy gusty thunderstorms late tomorrow into tomorrow night. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
And right now, we've got some clouds moving through downtown St. Louis. It's 84 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
Chris and Amy now. The Dave Glover Show at 1 on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Chris and Amy on KMOX. We are with you until 12 o'clock. Then the Gas House Gang, Tom Ackerman and me, we will talk some Cardinals baseball then. Jesse Rogers will talk ball with us at 12:30 today. Time to go to the Quiver River Electric guest line. We welcome in one of our soccer experts here, broadcaster on Y98 for City SC, and Jen Cease is with us now on KMOX. Good morning, Jen.
Good morning.
We were talking about youth soccer in America and how there have been all these voices discussing what the problems are here, why the U.S. men's national team ultimately doesn't compete at the level they should, and what's wrong with the youth levels and why we have not caught up to other countries. What is your take on it? Is it a problems with pay to play? Is it something beyond that? Is it that kids just don't stay interested in soccer because they develop interests in other sports? What is it, do you think, is the problem here?
Yeah, I wish it was one thing, but it never is. I mean, as somebody who played in the system, and I remember my dad, probably wanting to roll over when he first saw what a club bill looked like, and it was nothing near to what it looks like nowadays. Yeah. And I don't think we can just pick on soccer for that. I think we can pick on a lot of sports for that it is just so expensive to get your kids to play a sport, especially the more competitive they want to be. So that's definitely one factor. It costs a lot. I mean, I just got the kids registered for their next club seasons, and besides the fact that every season we seem to be ordering a new uniform, which I think is ridiculous because we're not pro players and we're not sponsoring anybody here. I'm looking at probably $300 to $400 per kid per month because I have to make monthly installments because I cannot afford the whole thing.
Oh.
So it is really like next to our mortgage per month, it is our highest cost when it comes to my kids playing something that they love and to get good coaching, to get what they want to do at that level. And I'll tell you, our boss, all of our bosses, Steve Moore, forwarded me an article that was posted on X. And it's right. It talks a little bit about the fact that it seems like that the ultimate goal for most of us as parents and myself too as players is, can you get your kid to the D1 level? And if we did it, we can kind of wash our hands clean and we did it. And that's really not necessarily the path for everybody. And it doesn't mean you're going to go then to the NWSL on the women's side or the MLS on the men's side in the United States or wherever else you might want to go. So, yeah, it is a different thing. We don't live soccer. We don't breathe soccer. When we go outside and play, there's a multitude of things the kids do, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. But the grassroots part is just not something that we do. And we also, I have to mention, that this is the first time since St. Louis City SC came to St. Louis that we have an academy system where, like the big clubs abroad do, where the kids that make that, the young men who make that, their families don't pay. Now, if you want to go travel and watch your kid play somewhere, you'll pay for that, but you don't pay for that because the club is investing back into the community. You don't get that when you play for Sliça, when you play for ECNL, NPL, all the acronym leagues, the GA on the girls' side. You just don't get it.
So, I mean, it feels like this pay-to-play system is so big in the United States. And as we mentioned, I mean, it's self-limiting right now because the sport is going to prematurely and unnecessarily eliminate what would have been maybe really talented kids from the sport because their families just can't afford this system. They can't get the training. They can't play on the teams they need to play for. So, I mean, are we kind of doomed? How do you fix it if it's this big? And I mean, why would a sport commit econicide? I mean, that's what it would be doing, saying, hey, you know what?
Well,
we'll get rid of all the money.
Well, to your point, when St. Louis City SC came to St. Louis, we were really happy until our top, our clubs in the area, and it's all of them. It's Blue Fuse, it's St. Louis Scott Gallagher, it's Missouri Rush. It's even the little ones like Poping and myself and friends. We ran a small club in Oakville when I lived in Oakville called Oakville United. It was a little thing. Let me tell you, it was expensive to run that club, and we didn't pay our coaches. It was on a volunteer basis. We all happened to have soccer experience, and it was still a lot of money to rent fields, to get uniforms, to register into leagues. Tournament fees are huge. So, yeah, there's a little bit of that, kind of all around. And you're right. When St. Louis City SC came, guess where all the top male talent wanted to go? They wanted to go try out for academy. Well, guess who that irritated? All the clubs with the top teams, Blue Fuse, Scott Gallagher, Missouri Rush. They weren't necessarily happy about that because their best players would then go to academy. And that is a different concept in other countries. That is an honor in other countries to have a local club, and then you have a player that's been developed and they get called into maybe the pro team's academy at whatever level it might be. That's an honorable thing. Here it was like, hey, you're stealing my players. And it's like, well, yeah, they want to go play for the best. So we do. You have kind of that, we don't want to cannibalize it, but we're paying a lot of money. And none of the leagues work together. If you go to the girls' academy, they will say, we're the pathway to NWSL. If you go to the ECNL, they'll go, we're the pathway to the NWSL. And on the boys' side, I think there are even more. So all these leagues are in competition with one another as well. And we don't have U.S. Soccer. And I don't know what power U.S. Soccer has, but we don't have U.S. Soccer saying, hey, let's build an official funnel into our program, and this is what we will do. But that would take a lot of people, like you said, Amy, feeling willing to lose a little bit of money, and that is not popular here.
Yeah, that's just not going to happen because nobody these clubs don't care about that. They care about making their money. They don't care about what the men's national team looks like down the road. And then it seems to me like, okay, we keep doing this, but then we're just going to keep having the same results, and then you get pissed off at the results every 4 years. Like, why does the men's national team not make it past this round? Oh, well, I don't want to lose money on my club team, so I guess we'll never fix this problem then.
Yeah, and our focus has seemed to be, and I think it's prevalent on the boys' side as well. I'm just more recent. I know about the girls' side because my oldest will be going to SLU for soccer on a D1 scholarship, which thank God, because when people congratulate us and say, oh, my God, that's so great, she's not going to have to pay for school. I'm like, we already did. We already paid for the school. We did it all these years of soccer. I'm happy for her, but we paid for it. And when we went out to her showcase, into the finals, they have showcases. We go out to California, so you can imagine what that costs. Just to get into the parking lot every single day, $20. You have one game, you go into the parking lot, $20. Granted, everybody tries to pile in one van if you can, but it's an exorbitant amount of money. The locations that are hosting the tournament make a lot of money. The clubs make a lot of money. The uniforms make a lot of money. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be in it to make money. Of course, it costs. In Oakville, when we ran our club, we used Oakville High School, and we did pay them a fee. It was a very reasonable fee, but to use their fields. Those aren't free. So unless you've got a complex like St. Louis City, who's got a training academy and their own fields, and they've got places to put you, and they're willing to kitch you up, if you will, with your 2 uniforms. And by the way, if your kid hasn't grown, I don't see why we're ordering new uniforms every year. Then it's going to continue to be this way. And we have to also point to the fact that in America, we like a lot of other sports as well. You can hear Taylor Twellman. He'll talk about both sides of it. Taylor Twellman would talk about how he played baseball, how he was kind of a multi-sport athlete, but went on to do great things. But at the same time, in other countries, they don't do that. They don't play baseball. They don't play American football. They go into soccer, and that is pretty much their lifeblood for the most part. So I do think it is a multifaceted kind of issue. And I think if you're going to have any sort of answer, it's going to have to be U.S. Soccer that says, how do we want athletes to come in? How do we want them trained? And this, everybody else can have their own leagues if you want to, but this right here is your pathway in. I think it might have to come down to that.
No, that's actually a really good solution because you would think U.S. Soccer after a while is going to get fed up, partly because of what we were talking about with the pay-to-play, but also because of this question, which I'll ask you, which has been the debate for the past couple of months. If the United States didn't have Major League Baseball, the NHL, the NBA, and the NFL competing for all of our athletes, and let's say the United States focused solely on soccer in the way that a lot of other countries do, or at least, primarily on soccer, would the United States be the best team in the world or one of the best teams, or not necessarily?
I guess it's kind of one way or the other. The funny debate, right, is like if you take LeBron James and you put him into soccer, wouldn't he be awesome? And the fact is no, not necessarily. You have to be good at the skills. But given his athleticism, given his ability to seem to probably learn just about anything, a really good athlete with enough time and training and touches can probably also be an excellent soccer player. I don't know. I was also asked if Bo Jackson would be good. I don't know. But, yeah, if we have our prime athletes also considering soccer as one of the big ones to choose from, or you don't have as much distraction from what gets the most attention in this country. I mean, just think about the coverage here. There's a local radio station in our town. I will not say them, but they were at Ballpark Village doing a live event for one of the games. And other than the World Cup, I never hear them talk about soccer unless it's to take pot shots at soccer. So it's just not necessarily that thing. So I do think that would help some of it. But to your guys' point earlier, there's a ton of talent we miss because you cannot afford to pay $300 for a uniform, another $300 for your sign-up fee, another $300. This is your monthly fee, and you're not done paying until the season's practically over.
Yeah, and I'm starting to think that the cost is the biggest hurdle, and that we have, even with all the kids who are focusing on other sports, we have 340 million people in the country. Right. We have millions and millions of children in the country. There is no reason that we don't have enough numbers of people to train them well to play soccer. So I think that's
the other thing I'll throw out there, though, real quick, though, is I don't remember who posted this, but trying to get further coaching licenses, I don't know how it works in other sports, but to continue to go up and get your, you start with I don't remember what letter, a G, F, something license, and as you move towards an A, that's your highest license you can get in the United States. It is you can pay hundreds of dollars for just getting your license. You got to pass a class, and it's pretty intense classes at each level, but you're also paying for your travel. You're paying for your hotel there. So there's a lot of people that are like, I can't afford to go get further licensing. So in U.S., and nobody pays for that. You pay for that out of your own pocket. So I think that's also a deterrent as well.
Jen Cease, we love you. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Jen Cease, broadcaster on Y98, City SC. Their season resumes on July 16th, by the way. They will play here at Energizer Park, and that will be against Sporting KC. Those dirty people from Kansas City.
Ugh, the worst.
I
don't think there's anybody worse than Sporting KC.
I mean, come on. What are we doing here? By the way, Christian Pulisic is just taking it.
He's taking it.
He is taking it from Carly Lloyd, like one of the best female players we've ever had, who's won 2 World Cups of her own and Olympic gold medals. Because he was talking about his foot injury and after the game, and he's like, I twisted my ankle. I'll rest up. I'll be okay. And they're like, no, tape that up and get your ass back out there. It's the most important game of the year.
Of your life, possibly.
Yes. Unbelievable, this guy. It's Chris and Amy show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Last year, I had back pain radiating down my right leg. The pain was so bad I was willing to cut my leg off to stop the pain. I could barely walk and had to stoop over when I did just to take pressure off the spine. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. In my professional career, I've represented thousands of people who've had herniated discs and issues with their neck and back, but never fully appreciated what they were going through until it was my turn. It's like trying to describe colors to a blind person who's never had sight. All I can tell you is it hurt like hell, but worse. My daily walk was gone, and that bothered me a great deal. Then I thought of all of you and how much more devastating this type of injury could be for you. My life stopped. I now feel your pain. Just know at Morgan & Morgan, we got your back. I understand. Morgan means more.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Honey, did you invite the Minions over?
Well, you know how we talked about getting Wi-Fi from Xfinity?
Yeah.
I ordered it this morning. It was online in minutes. Then they showed up.
So they just came over to use the Wi-Fi? For what?
Better not to know.
Get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Plus, lock in your price for 5 years and see Minions and Monsters only in theaters. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Summer is officially here, and that means the family internet, it is working overtime. All our lives are always online, and that's why I rely on i3 Broadband. Traditional cable just can't keep up, but i3 delivers 100% true fiber directly into my home for ultra-smooth, reliable performance. Plus, they're a local provider that actually treats you like a neighbor. Skip the fake fiber. Head over to i3broadband.com/radio today or call 866-806-5485 to upgrade because life runs better on fiber, and i3 Broadband is here for you.
It doesn't get any more iconic than the world-famous Budweiser Clydesdales. You've seen them in commercials. Of course, they're part of opening day in St. Louis. And how special is it that you can see these gentle giants up close and in person at their home in Soulard? Of course, I'm talking about the Anheuser-Busch Brewery. It's the home of Budweiser, and it's the home of our favorite horses, the Clydesdales. Check out the Clydesdale VIP experience. There's nothing quite like it, and there's nothing better than wrapping up your tour with an ice-cold Budweiser in the beer garden. BudweiserTours.com.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
The new Omaha Steak Store is now open in Baldwin at 15305 Manchester Road in Central Plaza. Stop in today and save 50% store-wide on legendary steaks, burgers, and more. Plus, get doorbuster deals starting at just $19.99. Discover the Omaha Steaks difference today at the new store at Central Plaza in Baldwin.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Ronch, have you ever heard of a question of the week?
I have heard of it.
We do that. Did you know that?
I've been a part of it.
Okay. Well, we have a question of the week at Chris Amy KMOX on the Twitters. The question of the week: CDs, DVDs, vinyl, oh my. Do you still buy physical media? If so, what do you buy? Riddle me this. Did you write that for it to be a poem,
No.
Matthew?
Well, I wanted to include like the different types of physical media, but I didn't mean it to be a poem.
Well,
Did it rhyme?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot less cool now that you didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah. CDs, vinyl, oh my. Do you still buy physical media? What kind do you buy?
Wow.
Wow, that's pretty. What a bunch of dorks on this show.
Yeah, go to at Chris Amy KMOX on Twitter and place your vote. I like it. I don't always do it. I do enjoy the convenience of buying something digitally and having it right away. But there is something that is more enjoyable about taking it off a shelf, picking it up, buying it, opening it.
You know what?
I kind of like that.
So I didn't even think about this because we have someone on Twitter who said newspaper. But the thing is, I was thinking maybe audio, like CDs, DVDs, visual, like VHS tapes. But I guess I do buy physical media. If you include newspapers and books, I do not have a Kindle. I never read books on my phone or on a screen. Whenever I travel, yes, even on airplanes, I will lug 10 pounds of books with me.
That's wild.
Before I bring a Kindle. I get so tired of looking at screens. And I also...
They're not like screens, though.
I know,
There's not
but
the light that's coming through.
I love
it's
the
different.
paper. I love the feel. I love turning the page. I earmark all my pages. I write in the margins. I underline.
You can write in margins on Kindle.
I know you can, but it's still not turning the page the same way and feeling the book in your hand. And I also, for a long time, got the paper New York Times and Wall Street Journal delivered daily because I love the sound. I love the sound of a newspaper and reading it. No, it's the best. Does that count, Matthew? Or are you talking primarily about visual and audio?
Yeah, it counts. I wouldn't count books as media, but it's still a tangible thing, as compared to a Kindle or a Nook, like you said.
I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't buy CDs again. You remember the
big binders?
The big binders of CDs?
Oh, it's just that's too much.
That was a lot.
And it's heavy.
Fun. It's fun.
But
I don't carry it in my car, but I've got a CD player in my apartment. My buddy brings over his CDs and his albums. We play records and CDs. And I've got a buddy who's into hi-fi audio, so he buys really nice pressings of albums and CDs. Not original copies, but ones that have been remastered and remixed. And yeah, they do sound better, I think, than like your traditional streaming, or traditional CDs or records. There's definitely a new niche for this, for like this hi-fi quality. And maybe it's not new, but I'm getting into it now. It's really cool.
Well, I love vinyl. I love vinyl records. And in fact, they're having an issue keeping up with demand for vinyl because the machines are so old. And when parts break, they have to go to Europe to try to find. I know it was Jack White's
Third Man.
Records, yes. And then we like toured his studio and then where they make the vinyls, and they were waiting for some pieces from Germany because this machinery is so old. And it's not like
the machinery that actually makes the records.
The records, yes. And it's not like kids are going to school today to learn how to fix these machines.
Yeah.
So it's pretty interesting, the demand.
We had a couple of texts throughout the week, and with Hancock and Kelly on Monday that we didn't get to. We had Trucker Mike from Godfrey says he has over 5,000 CDs and over 1,000 DVDs. He still watches and listens to both.
Nice.
I just want to know where he stores them all.
I think what's interesting are the people who have, and this, I guess, kind of kills their hobby, but people who have like almost every video game ever made, going back to, Atari, Nintendo Entertainment System, like all that stuff, and they got them on shelves in a special room. I mean, that goes away with GameStop moving on from that, or with Xbox and PlayStation moving on from that, and then stores like GameStop, they're just probably going to go away unless people are coming in for vintage stuff. But in that case, there's probably not a whole lot of money in it for a company like GameStop.
I miss the experience. Like, you knew it was Friday night when your friend came over and your parents would take you to Blockbuster. Or we went to a store it just said Videos. It was in a strip mall. It just said Videos. And we went to Videos, and you would pick out your movies and know that you were going to go home and make popcorn and watch the movie.
Yeah.
I really do miss that whole experience.
Yeah. And I do too. I think there is some value as a human in having to wait a little bit, and not because it is nice if you're sitting on the couch or you've got people over and you're like, hey, what movie do you want to watch? And then somebody says, let's watch this. You go, well, guess what? We can pay for it. We can rent it right now.
Yeah.
Or there's an app that it's on. Let's go get it. But there was something great about maybe it not being available to you in the moment, and you got to go to Blockbuster.
Or
you got to go to Family Video. Or you got to go to Dave's Movies and More. That was my place. and then you go in and you're like, oh, please, please, please be here. And then you walk up to the shelf and it's not there. Damn it. But it's on the pile in the counter because it just got returned.
Matt's too young for this. But do you remember when, like, maybe your friend's parents got a fancy new car or something, and it had the 6-disc CD
I had that.
player?
My first car had that.
That was like luxury. You're like, what are we, millionaires? We've got a 6-disc player in our car?
I had mine. I had one of my Ford Escort, and it was in the trunk, which sucked.
What?
So you had to put in your 6 CDs, and then like you couldn't change your mind. You had to pick the 6 CDs you wanted to listen to, and that thing would get stuck.
Oh,
My CD player at home is my parents' old one, and it holds 5. And so my buddy will bring his binder of CDs. He puts in 5 CDs, and like that's our entertainment for the next couple hours. And we'll still, hang out on top of that and drink and talk over the music. But yeah, it's fun to have CDs and records going. Sorry,
I think Pajeski's just friends with old men.
Yeah,
Isn't that a movie? Friends with Old Men. I think it's
Probably.
No Country for Old Men.
Go to our Twitter account which is much different than what you're thinking. At Chris Amy KMOX. Go and vote in our Twitter poll question of the week. You should be following us anyway. If you're not doing it, why aren't you doing it? Well, it is the biggest stage in the world in soccer, and unfortunately, there will be no action tonight. But tomorrow, France and Morocco are at it. The French, by many estimations, the best team in the world right now. Are they going to win the whole thing? Well, you can stay in on the action all the way through until the final whistle with FanDuel, and here's how. FanDuel is changing the game, and they know that a lot of times if you've placed a wager on a player and the player gets subbed out of the game, well, your bet goes along with that player. So they've introduced FanDuel Super Sub, which means if that player gets subbed out of the game, whoever comes in to replace him, well, your bet stays with that guy instead. So it is a great way to be involved in the action all the way through the final whistle. FanDuel.com/Missouri. If you have not gotten started yet or signed up, this is your chance. FanDuel.com/Missouri. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
For all station contest rules, go to KMOX.com/rules.
The thing that you need in the morning, when you first wake up.
Total Information AM.
I like to be informed with the news and like to know, like in the mornings, I like to know what's going on.
Debbie Monterey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman.
It's always smart to know what's going on.
Your morning news and information.
The national and local news.
Weather.
Sports.
I like the traffic reports.
Total Information AM.
I listen to it in the mornings, so it really gets me going.
Total Information AM. Weekdays 5 to 9 on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
84 degrees and cloudy with some patches of blue sky outside Studio B. A high today of 88, maybe some thunderstorms in spots this afternoon. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy and humid, a low of 71.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Giddy up! Cardinal Cowboy here. Summer heat can put your garage door to the test. Stay ahead of the game with a Renner Garage Door Summer Tune-Up. Plus, score a free repair or replacement quote and $100 off a new garage door. Forward and back.
If you are looking for a place for independent living for older adults, the place is Fairwinds River's Edge in St. Charles. It was voted U.S. News and World Report's best independent living for 5 consecutive years. They have social events for the residents there, wellness programs. Just go to fairwindsriversedge.com. Schedule a tour and hear about all of the great new updated spaces, all the dining, the social events, the best. fairwindsriversedge.com.
If you're having a major project done at your house, it can be a long process. It can be kind of tedious or frustrating, and hopefully, though, when it's all done, you can stand back and look and think, oh my gosh, this is an incredible improvement. Sometimes it doesn't work that way, though, if you choose the wrong company. That's why I'm telling you that if you're thinking about a major project in your outdoor space, even a minor project, call Chesterfield Fence and Deck, because Chesterfield Fence and Deck is the sign you have the very best. They only use the highest quality products. They have their own installation crews with years of experience. That is extremely important. And Chesterfield Fence and Deck has been around for 58 years, a quality company, and they offer value. They're not going to be your cheapest bid, but they're going to be the best, and it's going to last for years to come. So you can stand back and think, money well spent. They'll offer you 48 months interest-free financing if you mention me, Debbie Monterey. Stop by and visit them, or visit them online right now at chesterfieldfence.com. Chesterfield Fence and Deck.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
If your retirement plan is mostly what if and a little fingers crossed, you deserve better answers than that. Check out Wealth and Wisdom Saturdays at 7 a.m. here on KMOX. I'm Gary Goldberg. Call 800-966-1690.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where 24-pack Crayola crayons are just 50 cents?
Staples has folders, notebooks, and pens at great prices.
I'm smiling from ear to ear.
It's the most wonderful time.
Mom, I missed the bus of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples, where school supplies start at just 25 cents. Staples.
That was easy.
Visit your local Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
Today,
the Cards, the Brewers.
Hamlin Total Access 550. First pitch 6:45.
Cardinals Radio. 104.1 FM KMOX.
All right, I guess we're playing a game today.
It's the newlywed game since we've been apart for so long.
Oh, because you were gone and
And you
then I
were
was gone.
gone.
I was gone for a few days.
I was gone. You were gone. We were
Yeah.
all gone.
Yeah.
And so we're going to play the newlywed game to see how well you and I know each other.
Oh, all right. Well,
I can tell you what's going to happen. You're going to know all of my answers because I overshare, and I'm going to know nothing about you because you have this appearance of being, open. Oh, I talk about everything when really you share nothing. I know nothing about you.
you know plenty.
Hmm.
There's enough to know. All right, let's play this damn game.
All right, Amy.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you a question about Ranji. And we're going to keep the timer to about 5 seconds, okay?
Okay.
We're going to try to do rapid fire. We're going to see how well you really know your co-host.
Okay.
What is Chris Ranji's biggest pet peeve?
When people order a bunch of drinks at Starbucks.
It's not necessarily wrong.
Okay.
It may not be number one. It's 1 or 1A because
Okay.
number one is people who, when the light is green
that's right.
and there's
That's
traffic,
right.
and they just go, even though there's not enough space for them to clear the intersection, and then the red light comes, and then they're stuck in the middle of the intersection. That's my number one. But number two is ordering 20 drinks at Starbucks, and then the rest of us have to wait.
Yeah, for the mobile pickup.
Yeah, the mobile pickup people.
Ranji, how well do you know your co-host, Amy? Tell me what her middle name is.
Is it Renee?
Amy Renee?
I don't know.
No.
I was going to guess
Amy
that too.
Lynn. You're not
Closer.
Leah.
No. Louise.
I think I did know that. I was
It's
like, of course it's
Louise.
an old lady's name.
It's my grandma's name.
Yeah. See? Yes. An old lady's name.
Amy, if Ranj could go anywhere in the country for vacation, where would it be?
Okay, eliminating Chicago to see the wife and kids, I would say Boston or New York City.
Pick one.
New York City.
Very good. Very good. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I'm impressed.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like cities. I
Yeah,
like
you
going
do.
to cities.
And I know, and here's how I know because we've talked about Boston before. And when you say, "Oh yeah, I love Boston," it's like, "Oh yeah," it's like, "No, you're right. Boston's very cool." You know what I mean? It felt very much like a
Yeah.
second place, not
Yeah.
a first place.
Like, I don't need to go to the beach. I don't need this
Yeah,
LA
yeah.
stuff. Take me to a big, grimy city. That's what I want.
Yeah, your big grimy self.
You know, number two is New Orleans. I love New Orleans.
See, I think I would have gotten that one wrong. I would have
Yeah.
said Boston, maybe.
Ranji, how old is Amy?
42.
Yes. I didn't think you would get that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yep. I know things.
Yeah, you do.
Amy, what is a word or phrase that Ranji says all the time?
You're fine.
True. I do say that.
My
You're
bell
fine.
is broken.
You broke the bell?
You broke your dinger?
My dinger's not dinging too
Oh,
great.
dude, don't overding. Because Amy
You're fine.
Amy spazzes out a lot. And so I'm like, you're fine.
You're fine.
Yeah.
Or it's fine.
It's fine. Yeah. I do say that a
You're
lot.
fine. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Ranji, who is Amy's hiking buddy that she talks about all the time?
Noah.
That's right.
Yeah, come on, that
That
was
was a
easy.
layup. Here's the thing. It was super easy, but sometimes you don't listen. So I thought maybe.
Correct.
Sorry, what?
A ding.
What?
Amy, who is Ranji's best friend?
Oh, okay. This isn't fair. He's got like 5 of them.
So your answer is?
Locally, Marty.
I would say no. I don't have a best friend.
That's like you have 5.
That's right.
Yes.
I think you were closer to
I think I was
correct
close
with your
because
instinct.
I'm like, you've got 5 of them. He doesn't have one guy.
It's the same way I look at when people say, "What's your favorite movie or
Yeah,
favorite song?"
you
I don't know.
yeah.
Like I like a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I had to tailor
call.
some of mine to when I was a kid, because
Yeah.
and that's why. Okay, you're right. That's a trick question because you have 5. I can think of like 5 guys that you talk about, but you don't have a best one.
No, and I don't understand how people, and I do get how people have a best friend. I mean, that's common.
Yeah.
I get that, but I don't understand like having a favorite movie.
Yeah.
They're all different. I mean,
Yeah.
there's not. I don't know.
It
It's
depends
just a
on the
weird
day.
concept to me. Yeah.
But I did add one for a kid actually.
Yeah, I could ask that
You
one.
asked that one.
What was Amy's favorite movie as a little kid?
As a kid.
Ranji?
Oh, probably The Parent Trap or some crap like that. I don't know.
No, I'm too old for that.
Are you?
Top Gun.
Oh,
Remember?
yeah,
because
yeah,
I was
yeah.
Kelly McGillis twice for Halloween.
Which is wild.
was Charlie.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
I had a leather jacket and a skirt. And I
Did
was
people
like,
know what you were?
Of course, I'd explain it.
Yeah,
No,
of
because
course,
I had a
right.
leather jacket and a white shirt, and yeah.
Amy, what is Ranji's go-to karaoke song? And follow-up question, does he even enjoy karaoke?
Interesting. Oh no, I feel like such a failure. He doesn't enjoy karaoke.
Half
but
correct.
when he is forced to sing it, which I feel like he's never been forced to sing karaoke. I didn't know he was forced to sing karaoke.
Well,
Is it U2 or Michael Jackson?
it is not.
Okay.
I did karaoke once.
Okay.
And it was the Oasis song. I can't think of what it is now.
Rock
Don't Look
and
Back in
roll.
Anger.
Don't Look Back in
That
Anger.
was it. It's a great karaoke crowd song.
Okay.
So I went with that. But I do despise karaoke.
Yeah.
And when somebody suggests, let's go, I'm like, oh, come on, man.
I can't. Well, that's why
You
I
might
can't
as well
believe.
pull out a board game at the table.
I can't believe you were forced into it. I think I would have said that you never did.
I think I was imbibing.
Oh, of course, you have to. Ranji, Amy didn't start running until her mid-20s, but what sport did she grow up playing?
Hockey.
Sports.
Sports,
Yes.
so there's more than one.
Can you name? You get a point for that. You get a point for each sport.
Soccer.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Everybody.
you know this. We've talked about it.
Tennis.
Yes.
I don't know if I knew that one.
Man.
Nice work. He cleaned
You
house.
think,
with
you think
that
I don't
one.
listen, do you? Screw you.
You
I
don't listen.
Then why do I know all these
what
things?
time are we supposed to break?
Yeah, 10 minutes ago.
Oh, that's it. Come on. We're not worried about that.
Amy, without looking, what is Chris Ranji's phone number?
Oh, wait, whoa. Slow down.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I know what
Not
it
that one.
starts with. I know the first six,
618?
Yeah.
but I know. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know
okay,
the.
all
I
right,
don't
all
want to say
right. That's
that. I
enough.
know
I'm
the
a
first.
618er. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
2. I'm just guessing now. All right, I'll give you a real one.
Okay.
Will Ranji go get coffee with you?
1 in 4. 1 in 4 times that I ask, and then he says yes. He either
That's correct.
Yes, it's 1 in 4 times.
That is correct.
That's good.
Yeah.
Even if he says yes to all 4, it's still 1 in 4.
That's correct. You nailed it.
I know.
Wow.
I know.
Bonus points.
Ranji, when is Amy's birthday?
Is it November? I remember 2 birthdays, 3. Both of my parents
And Jesus.
and my one grandmother only
Oh, interesting.
because it was the day before mine. That's it.
I think we should just not tell him when it is. So that
No,
way it
don't
sneaks
tell
up
him. We're
on
not going to tell him, but you're
no,
not
I know,
close.
it's-
You're not close.
No,
I
it's-
know yours because it's 314 day.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
easy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we'll just surprise you. Because here's the thing. You're going
You
to know.
surprise me on your birthday.
Yeah, you're going to know it's wrong. And then one day I'll be like, it's today.
I can,
That would be great.
I can look it up.
Amy, we know where Ranji would go anywhere in the country for vacation, but
Yeah.
where would he go in the world? What's the
Oh, wow.
what spot in the world would he like to vacation?
Well,
in?
I don't think we've ever talked about this, but I would say France because he's from France.
You know, I
No.
would know London.
Oh.
I'd like to see London. I know it's big city, whatever.
London's
and, you know,
very cool.
But I'm
Hey,
I've never been.
and you know what?
I'd go to Dublin too. I think that's probably number 2.
London is super easy now because you have nonstop.
I know.
You have multiple nonstops, which is
From
actually
Lambert.
pretty cool.
That's right.
That's very cool.
I have one more for Amy.
Okay.
I'm sorry, one more for Chris about Amy.
Yeah.
Who is Amy's favorite author?
I don't know that we've ever talked about this.
Oh my gosh, I feel like we only talk about this.
Is it David French?
It is one book.
I don't
Come
know.
on.
No.
I feel like I
Much older. Much
Charles
older.
Dickens.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, pretty good.
Nice.
It's like, okay, you know, this person, she's constantly throwing everything she does in your face. Like some of it's going to stick. It's like, I can't block out everything. I try.
I think you guys know each other more than you thought you might.
Oh, God, it's awful.
Yeah.
I kind
All
of
right, well, we did it.
I kind of want to tell him when your birthday is now.
I know, don't tell him. But I think I feel a little disappointed in London because I do think you have said that before.
Yeah, maybe.
I think maybe with the time crunch I panicked, but I
feel-
do think you've said London before.
Here's where the vacation thing bugs me with people. It feels like every time somebody says, I'm going on vacation, it's got to be a beach. Like it has to be a tropical place.
Not moi.
Yeah, I don't think it needs to be.
I'm a mountain person, which I guess is like picking one. I am a mountain person. I pick mountain over beach every time.
Yeah.
But I have also gone to New York for a couple times because it's just fun. It's a fun city. I love New York.
I do too, man. I love places that you can get totally lost in.
Like the mountains.
And yeah, well, not like that. I mean, you can get lost, but you're still at a coffee shop. You know what I mean? I don't want to get lost and eaten by a bear.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'll go on July 26th. Maybe that's when. Maybe that's when I'm gonna go.
How did you find that?
What do you mean?
It's not on the internet, is it?
I don't know.
I'm Googling.
It's right there with your name, address, phone number.
Amy's birthday is July 26th. It's coming up
I'm getting old.
in a couple of weeks. Getting. Well, all right, we did it.
And actually,
Older.
there is an AI answer that gives you the correct answer, which is kind of interesting.
How
How about that?
Oh, you know what? I think I know because of the running.
Yep, that's
I would
exactly
run on
it.
my birthday.
There you go. So, who won this game?
You actually had more points, Ron, so
Yeah.
you know Amy better.
Yep. How do you like that?
Is that because he got 3 points for the sports?
That's, yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty good. I got 3 things
That
right.
was pretty good.
You should play this game with your friends.
We should play this.
Put together-
We should keep asking more personal questions.
Ruin your friendships by asking each other these questions.
What is Ranji's number of, or his thyroid number on his last blood
Thyroid
test?
number? What a guess.
How much does he weigh? Answer now.
It's the Chris and Amy show. We've got the Gas House Gang at 12 o'clock. Guess who's on that? Amy.
Oh, Rogers, Jesse Rogers.
Jesse Rogers
Yes,
is on
yes.
with
You,
and
Bernie.
no, that's
Tom Ackerman.
No, Tom Ackerman, yes. Bernie is tomorrow.
Who's
Tom
Bernice?
Ackerman.
Bernice.
Good Lord.
That is his wife's name, believe it or not.
It is.
Well,
It
no,
is the-
because
Bernie
Bernie
Federko.
Federko is
Yeah.
Bernadette.
Oh,
It's
that's
Bernie
cute. I
and
like it.
Bernadette Federko.
It is the Chris and Amy show on KMOX.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Get ready for a night back with legendary hits and non-stop energy.
I got my first real six
Bryan Adams is bringing the Roll with a Bunches tour to Enterprise Center Friday, July 24th.
Hello, this is Bryan Adams.
Sing along to the classics as Bryan Adams delivers an unforgettable night of rock anthems. Plus, special guests Pat Benatar and Neil Girardo. Bryan Adams, July 24th. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to Supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At Supersure.com, you can access tools like Fine Print Facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to Supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's Supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Fresh paint inside, fresh flowers outside. Summer at your house is looking good. During July 4th deals at Lowe's, buy one, get one free. Select interior paint via mail-in rebate. Plus, get 2 1.5-gallon red, white, and blue annual hanging baskets for just $15. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 7/8. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See store at Lowe's.com for details and requirements. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
You know, I'm always talking about taking care of everybody else. The kids, the family, the job, the house, the calendar. But today, I want to talk about you taking care of you. Because if you don't take care of you, who's going to take care of them? What if you could better understand your risk for chronic disease before symptoms begin? Simon Cancer Center has a tool called Your Disease Risk, and it does just that. It helps you get a better understanding of your risk for chronic disease and cancer before symptoms even start. It looks at things like lifestyle, family history, everyday habits, nutrition, physical activity, tobacco use, sleep, and screenings, because your health story is shaped by more than just genetics. And knowledge is powerful. When you know your risk, you can make better choices, ask better questions, and the ability to take actions early. Listen, it only takes a few minutes, but it can help guide decisions that matter for years to come. Prevention starts with awareness, and awareness starts with you. Visit sitemont.washu.edu/YDR and take the Your Disease Risk Assessment today. Just a few minutes a day could make a difference for years to come. That website again is sitemont.washu.edu/YDR.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Gas House Gang soon. Cardinals talk will happen with Tom Ackerman and me. We will have Jesse Rogers from ESPN, who covers Major League Baseball. He'll be on the show, too. Good to have you with us all day today. I think we've had a really nice, eventful, productive day.
I would say so.
I think we solved the soccer crisis in America.
Yep. Probably.
I think we know what the problem is and how to fix it, and I think nobody's going to fix it.
Well, as Jen
continue.
said, it would have to be on USA Soccer. They'd have to create some kind of program because right now the pay to play, like I said, they're not going to commit a conocide and end their existence out of altruism for soccer in the United States. They're big money makers.
They're trying to make money, which I think is, that's what stinks because it's fundamentally youth sports should be about teaching kids how to play the correct way.
Yeah.
Whatever the sport is. It shouldn't be about wins. It shouldn't be about championships. Doesn't matter. Nobody cares if your 9-year-old won his soccer tournament. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
You guys won't remember, probably.
Nobody will remember.
All those tournaments.
Those trophies will end up in a dump.
Oh.
Yeah. At some point. It might take 20 years, but they'll be in a dump.
Speaking of playing sports the right way or the wrong way, did you see that the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, cleared a path for Russian athletes to return at the 2028 Olympics?
I did see that.
That would be in LA. Now, the IOC has provisionally lifted its suspension of the Russian Olympic Committee, which, if it is finalized, would allow Russian athletes to compete in 2028 in LA under their own flag. Russia was suspended from the Olympics in 2023 because its committee incorporated groups from occupied regions of the Ukraine. I know also their track and field team had been suspended for doping. So there's multiple reasons why they've had trouble with Russia over the past few years. And
a lot of people have had trouble with Russia the last few years.
Historically, honestly.
It's a problem.
They've had troubles. But at any rate, you've seen the individual athletes compete in the Olympics with like the non-flag, and they're from Russia. But obviously, teams couldn't compete we just watched Team USA win the gold medal in ice hockey. Well, there was no Russian team. They weren't allowed to compete in teams. So there you have it. You might have Russia back in 2028. Not sure how we feel about that.
Well, I mean, I don't feel bad for the athletes, I guess, who've been
If you're an individual
denied,
athlete, yeah.
I guess you got to be mad at your government.
Yeah. Don't invade countries.
Yeah, and commit war crimes.
Yeah.
Don't do that,
Yeah.
and maybe you'll get to compete in the Olympics or whatever else. Hey, we should congratulate, before we get to Gas House Gang, Riley O'Brien for making the All-Star team.
Oh.
Yeah, Riley O'Brien, he's in as a substitute. There were a handful of pitchers who are not going to be in the All-Star game for various reasons, sometimes because they've got a start coming up or maybe there's an injury. So Riley O'Brien is in as a replacement, joining Jordan Walker, who is also on the team. So the Cardinals do have 2 All-Stars who are participating next week.
You know, Ron, what I meant to tell you? I meant to say, have a great Gas House Gang.
Oh.
I hope it goes really well.
Well, I don't know why it wouldn't, but I mean, I guess you never know. All kinds of bad things could happen during the Gas House Gang. If you missed anything on this show, well, you know where to find it, KMOX.com. The Odyssey app, if you've got that on your phone, where you listen to the station live, and Cardinals Baseball's live on it. And we have our podcasts all there for you, too. So go back and listen to those, and we will be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Tomorrow's a Thursday, so we'll have Major Garrett on the show, as we always do on Thursdays.
Wednesday.
Nope,
Today is Wednesday,
Holy
big boy.
cow. Oh, my God. That's great news.
Yeah. Welcome.
He felt strongly enough about it to correct you.
I don't like to do that on the air. I felt
I
bad.
know. What a great mistake you made.
Yeah.
You sounded like a dope, but you learned something really cool. Tomorrow's already Thursday.
Tomorrow's Wednesday.
Gas House
he
Gang
says on
next.
KMOX.
Gas House Gang next.
outside.
Here's the wiener.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by Audie and Hearing.
Summer is here, and